Alright. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. They dropped the May update reveal today, which we're going to check out. Luckily, I had a friend of mine hit me up earlier before stream, so I didn't start playing without looking at it. There's some good stuff in here. I mean, to be honest, this kind of just tells us everything we were already expecting. I kind of just skimmed over it. I didn't really read it too deeply, so I don't know if it actually shows a date or not in here. If they confirm that May, what is it, 19th is the concrete date or not. Seeing how we're still like basically 2 weeks out from it. I don't know if they committed to a date, but this is basically just confirming what's coming in May. Um, right off the bat, we're getting normal and hard mode Vaulton. I can already tell a lot of people on the forums are probably going to be kind of annoyed. Because I saw a lot of people saying they should split normal and hard mode, but they've never did that in any other regions, and it gives people something to work towards. So, to be honest, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think people, like, if you didn't complain about normal and hard mode Oreja being there at launch, with having like anywhere from like a 45 to 30 item level difference to get to, which is about the same difference because it's 1415 for normal and then 1445 for hard. Then you can't complain about Vaulton launching normal and hard mode. I feel like that was just kind of expected. Most of us were, at least most people that pay attention to other regions and stuff, were like, we were all pretty doubtful they were going to split it up anyway. And to be honest, I think with Argos, while people kind of freaked out about Argos, I think for the most part, we could kind of see that it wasn't too big of a deal. I think if they keep a pacing where they release the raid and then they release it like the next raid, like maybe a month or so after, then maybe they, it kind of smooths out the fact of people being there late. Like for instance, me personally, if I wasn't porting tier 3 materials for the destroyer, I could probably get to 1415 on the scrapper in the next 2 weeks with the sheer amount of mats I have saved up. But I digress. So we're getting normal hard Volton, which we kind of knew. It's 8-player. It has 2 gates, so basically two boss fights. Unlike Argos, where Argos, is phase 1, 2, and 3, and then it's like all or nothing. Like, when you get loot, you can't get any more loot for the week. The way Volton, or the way the Legion works in general, is each phase has its own loot attached to it, and you can get them individually. So say you like pug Volton and you do normal Volton phase 1 and you kill it, but then your team struggles on phase 2 and then everybody just quits. You're not shit out of luck. You just have to go into Party Finder and then either set up or look for a phase 2 Volton party, which is nice. So even, and then it's even nice if you have like a raid group that maybe you don't have a lot of time on like one day to do like all the Volta. Maybe you have like an hour here and an hour there, or then you can plan to do phase 1 like this day and then phase 2 the next day and still get the rewards. To do normal, you need to be 1415, and then to do hard, you need to be 1445. And then this is going to be the introduction to relic gear. From what I understand, he drops relic accessories in normal mode. I think I don't know if they're like all the accessories you get will be relic, or if he just has like a higher chance to drop relic accessories in normal. While in hard, I think he's just guaranteed. Like I think he's just always going to drop it, and then you can kind of accrue some materials from Volton to do to save up for your relic set, and then at 1445 he just drops a bunch of relic materials. Caveat being, to the armor side of things, you can only, from what I understand, unless they change it for our version, which I don't think they don't really specify here. In the other regions, you can't craft the relics gear until you're 1445 anyway. So, I guess there's that. But I still don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because we're going to be in those sets for a long time. You don't really replace those sets until like Belshazzar, which is 1490. And I don't know when we'll get her because we don't know. I guess we'll have to wait to see what the summer roadmap is going to be like for the cadence they want to hold for Legion raids. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they do one every 2 months or something like that, which probably means we won't get Shaza till close to winter. So we'll be, we'll have plenty of time to get relic sets rolling, and even then, it'll still take you a while to replace those sets. But it's really nice. It gives some people to work toward stuff to work towards. Gives a lot of the upper geared people something to do. Especially because, like, from what I understand, Vaulted is when the raids actually start getting fun. Like, this is when people actually started enjoying the raids in Lost Ark. So this will be pretty nice. We're getting Descaluda, the Guardian raid. She or the bird also has a chance to drop relic accessories, but from what I understand, it's kind of like the chance from getting like legendary accessories from like Yoho or something like that is the equivalence. So so you'll probably more often than not be getting like legendary accessories, but you'll still have a chance to get relic quality accessories from Descaluda. The destroyer is coming on the May update, which we already knew. If you've read the update, you'll notice something that we'll talk about later. After I finish going through the update, I have another tab open with the forum post. There was no mention about a power pass or anything in the destroyer section, unlike Glaver, so we'll circle back to that later. I just want to get through this now. The challenge Guardian raids are coming on with the May update, which is a really big boost for materials. As long as which I'm assuming they'll come with like the updated or like the same format. I mean, as in the in the other regions where you just get a shit ton of mats on the character that does it, and you'll have 3 that you can do all 3 once per roster per week. So basically you get the loot 3 times. You can get the loot 3 times a week, and what it'll be is that the Guardian, I'm saying the way it works is the Guardian at the top will rotate out on weekly reset, and then they'll add a new Guardian at the bottom, and so you'll always fight two Guardians like twice. Basically it'll help to at least learn the fights, because some of them have different mechanics and attack patterns and stuff like that. They're also equalized, so like the Guardian raid we have event basically, but without the buffs, so because it's also just you 1v1ing the challenge Guardian. So it'll be nice. Also, make sure before you go in that you go in with the appropriate like engravings and stuff, because according to this you cannot use the battle workshop in there, so you can't change your stuff in there. But this also means that you can't restock potions is the other thing, right? So like these are probably going to be pretty challenging for the first couple weeks, at least I feel like for most people, especially if you don't have like a group that you do them with, especially depending on what we get on the first rotation, because they don't say, but I imagine it'll probably be like the 3 easiest bosses first, and we don't know how it'll rotate after that. They're introducing new quests. We're getting the South Vern stuff, so the Chaos Line hard mode, the Thunderwing boss, the Chaos Gate, the Ghost Ship, and the Chaos Dungeons on the May update. So basically everything they pulled out of South Vern, which we kind of expected. Something to note about the Chaos Dungeons is unless they change it for our version, from my understanding, Chaos Dungeons don't drop relic accessories until the 1445 Chaos Dungeon. So again, unless they change it for ours, because they're not going into anything too specific, they'll probably tell us if any changes were made to any of this for our version on the patch notes in like, I don't know, a week and a half or something before the 19th. And then they're adding the Wild Wings Island, which I think is just a new like co-op. I think, or it might just be like a new just quiet like island that pops up that's there that you can just go do. New guild activities. Oh hey, it's the Destroyer. What's up, baby? They're finally introducing GVG and GVE. So that'll be nice. That'll give guild something finally to focus on. If you're a guild, or if you're in a guild, or you are interested in GVGing, I really suggest doing PvP to get enough currency to buy and then craft up your the special like token medallion that you can buy from the vendor. Because that's the main use for that token is for GVG and PvP islands. So if you haven't gotten that yet, and you really want to do GVG pretty hardcore, you're gonna need it. You're really gonna need it because it gives you a really big advantage. So just something to keep in mind. If you've kind of been slacking on it, it'll be, it'll be it could hurt you a little bit if you ignore it too much. And I also don't know if you get PvP like XP or coins from doing GVG stuff. If it works the way it works in Korea, the way this is going to be is that there's going to be an island. The guilds will basically fight for the island, and then the guild that wins gets to choose what day of the week, or yeah, what day of the week that island is going to be available for the rest of the game, the party to go into the game to go into. So that way they can get rewards also from it. If it works the same as other regions, I don't know if it'll work the same or not, because this only really talks about like the GVG side of things. GVE is another one where basically you can go in and you can fight this like raid boss, and then the faster you kill it, the higher your ranks, the better your ranking can be, and the better your ranking, the better rewards you can get. Like, if I'm mistaken, this is a pretty decent way to make gold. I don't know if there's going to be a minimum like player requirement, so because again they don't really specify too much. And when I try to do some digging on GVE, at least at the beginning of the game launch, I didn't really see anything. So I don't know if this is even a big thing in Korea, but I do know that one of the rewards is like gold that you can split amongst your guilds. So that was pretty interesting. I feel like that's probably something that'll be good. So if you're not in a guild or anything, you might want to like either find one that's worth joining, or make one with friends that you know who play the game if you're interested in any of this content, because I think you have to. Well, it's guild content, so you basically have to be in a guild to do these. For skins, they're introducing a shop called Neria's Wardrobe, and they're adding they're adding a month of Neria's Wardrobe. So basically, from what I understand, this is like a rotating shop that gets brought in and out of the game in the other regions. That is just basically what you see, just like regular clothes kind of stuff for the people that like that stuff. And then you'll buy individual items, not like a set thing, right? So you can buy like the hat, the pants, the shirt, dresses, all that kind of stuff in the way you want it, and kind of just customize yourself. So that's pretty cool. Quality of life, we're finally getting the front and back attack markers, which is huge. I think that's, there's long overdue. The ability to check daily and weekly participation in the in game, massive. So excited for that. Some UI updates, which I'm imagining is probably going to be like the party stuff, the party screen. In the other versions, they have more customization options for how they want their to have their party bars on their screens. Party finder and party invite updates. Updated loot dismantling, which if this is what I think it is, basically the way this works is you can set up the loot dismantle and tell it what pieces of loot you want to exclude from dismantling, and then it'll automatically dismantle everything else. So like you put like the stats and the engravings you're looking for and stuff like that. Convenience features for the auction house, the market and auction house, and then stuff like the random favorited mount summon, and then new hairstyles are also coming. Balance and tuning updates. This is pretty cool. We had known a while back that they were going to bring Destroyer in its reworked form, and so a lot of people had questions on whether or not like the rest of the balance patch would come to us with May, and apparently this is we're getting all of those class balance, like all that class tuning, alongside Destroyer, which would mean that, well, first of all, it means that you don't have to like build your character one way now while slowly building, like having stuff to build him into later, because you will be able to swap now. And this does raise some concern though that some people may have, which I don't think is really at least in some of the classes I think is a real big issue. I think they kind of alleviated the problem, but a lot of these balances were done based around having the relic set on it. And some classes I think will benefit from the changes right now, and then some classes I think probably won't, or they may not see any real changes, or they may even see slight nerfs until they finally get a relic set going, which is kind of just, it's unfortunate, but it's kind of part of the process. I think getting the balance patch to our version like now is better than waiting later when people already have, +4, +3, +4 tripods on all their stuff, and then they have to redo all that shit again for some classes. Like, I can't imagine that's very fun. But basically, so a lot of this is basically just confirming everything we kind of, for the most part, people had expected and that we had known was coming in our in the May update. I will say something that I don't see here is any mention of any new event, like actual event to replace the Guardian raid. because the challenge Guardians is a permanent thing. Like this is a permanent addition to the game that's just there. This is new weekly content for you to do. So that's not an event. That's there permanently. I think this Wild Wing Island thing is also a permanent island thing. So I don't see a mention of an event, which I think is probably something they're gonna tell us when we get closer to the update. Probably in the patch notes. I imagine there'll be something for it. And then now they're working on the summer stuff. So basically, June and June, July, August stuff. I imagine is probably going to be the next like roadmap that we're going to get. They said it was going to be later this month. I was thinking earlier in the thing, in the update. Something to be of note is that nowhere in here do they cement that May 19th is in fact like the concrete date. I think that's still the tentative date they're aiming for, because they do make a mention of Guardian Raid Event 2 May 19th in the update itself. So I think they are aiming for a May 19th update still, and nothing has really changed that on their part. I think that again, the normal hard Vulcan, like there's gonna be people that are annoyed that hard comes out alongside normal Vulcan. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think people really still don't understand how the pacing of this game really works. We're gonna be in these relic sets for a long time. Yes, you'll miss out on the first like boon of gold making you could potentially make by getting a lucky relic accessory or relic ability stone that could sell for a lot. But the point is that being annoyed about something like that is not really healthy long-term wise, because like that's not static gold that's going to be there the whole time. Like once that gold from that initial bubble collapses, and you don't like, you're going to go back to making regular amounts of gold, and so is everybody else. So it's just like you'll be fine. I'm trying to see if I can find where they talk about so I'll just search it. Okay, yeah. Alright, it was at the bottom. I was just blind. Basically here it says, we'll be taking a look at the roadmap for summer and share a glance later this month at our plans. I imagine probably the last week of May we'll probably get it. So like the week after the May update, we'll probably have it. So now we're going to talk about the kind of elephant in the room of this whole article, which is Destroyer potentially not getting a power pass. So basically, I'm just going to refresh this so I can ping. People were asking because there was no announcement for a power pass in the update, and Glaver, when they did the general update, specified in it that it was launching with a Fate and power pass. For some odd reason, I expected this. Like the pessimist in me expected not to have a Fate and power pass with Destroyer, with the fact that we had a power pass and an express mission launching with the Glaver. And ironically enough, I expected it, and I'm still kind of pissed off about it, because basically what Rock says here is, unfortunately it doesn't look like we have another power pass to give out with the Destroyer. For some context here, while other regions may get a power pass with most class releases, they're only getting a small number of classes per year. We, on the other hand, will be seeing many more classes come out this year, which would be a much more significant number of power passes shared with the players. I do understand it would have been much better if players knew this when the Fate and Power Pass was released, and I both agree and apologize. However, we didn't know ourselves yet either. Knowing this cadence for Power Passes now, when it comes to future pass giveaways, we will definitely try to clarify the date, range, and class options so that players can make best possible decisions on how to use it. What I'm about to say next is not a personal attack on Rox. Again, she is only allowed to tell us the information that she's allowed to tell us. This is more of an annoyance against Smilegate and potentially Amazon, because I don't think Amazon really has any much weight in the matter here about whether or not what power passes we're getting, especially for this first cadence. But this excuse is completely bullshit, in my opinion. Like this excuse is so bullshit that, like, I swear to God, my like 10-year-old niece could come up with a better excuse than this, because their whole thing, right? We're gonna go up here. Hold up, right here. Let's see, where is it? It is never our goal for players to feel they need to pay to progress. All right, this is what they just said in the May update. And now they're telling us that potentially every time they release a new, like multiple new classes, they might release only one power pass for like a set of classes, right? And mind you, we only had 2 classes this time, but who's to stop them from releasing 3 or 4 classes at the same time and then only giving us one power pass? The only reason I'm not fully like kind of out of control is because, or like super annoyed about this, because there's a lot of people kind of pissed off about it on the forums, and I think rightfully so, because as Rox covers it, this ties back to how like how bad their communication is, but I think a lot of it again kind of ties into the fact that Smilegate was trying to do their class balance patch with their Geisha continent release on top of trying to set up a whole new region all at the same time, and they kind of just didn't have the manpower to figure things out. But trying to say that, oh, we're getting a lot of classes back to back on a region that's literally just got released, that you have said that you want to put it on a fast track so it gets caught up quicker to the other regions, and then you turn around and use that same like reasoning as an excuse to not give power passes, is so bullshit beyond belief that I cannot even describe how annoyed I would be if I hadn't already pre-planned for it and expected this. The biggest issue here is, one, they didn't even tell us of the possibility. For instance, when they dropped the Fade and Power Pass, they could have been like, we are still considering the cadence of power passes with classes. They could have just said that, and that by itself, while not committing to anything, would have allowed players to go, wait, hold up, do I want to use the power pass on Glaver? Do I want to save it for Destroyer? Or do I want to save it for even further? And this is also not to ignore the fact that the power pass had the wrong date on it for like 2 weeks, right? Players don't, like, the average player does not look at the forums. You know, at most they probably like knew that, hey, Destroyer's coming out in May, but this power pass expires before that, so I'm gonna just use it now on the Glaver or use it on another class. Same thing with the Express mission. Well, first of all, there was a whole debacle of the Express mission at the beginning. But again, the average player is gonna see that Express mission and they're gonna be like, oh man, I have a, you know, if they didn't accidentally use it on a tier 3 character to begin with, after they learned it, you know, they probably went, I have a tier 1, tier 2 character I want to use it on to get them up now so that way I can get caught up. And then maybe they were waiting for Destroyer, or maybe they wanted to see what was going to come in June, expecting that maybe those classes would get something added onto it. And then now they're finding out that, by the way, like if you didn't save the Express mission, one of the 2 Verdant Power Passes, or the Faden Power Pass, then you're basically gonna have to like gear and level a character all the way from tier 1 of all fucking things, like Vern tier 1, all the way to tier 3 with Volton already released. Because this is the kicker, right? Is that they're going, well, we don't think we're gonna give another power pass for Destroyer when we're releasing him with Vault next to Volton. Mind you, there's actually a decent chunk of players, especially after the rework, myself included, who all of us really want to get a Destroyer up and running as soon as possible, which would still like, even with the Fate and Power Pass, would still have taken us time unless we were willing to drop fat stacks, because it's really expensive to do. Again, this is no attack on Rox herself. This, like, I'm saying the excuse they're telling her to give is completely bullshit, and I'm kind of using their own reasoning against them here, because this is how you make players feel like they need to spend money. Because like Destroyer is a bad example, but imagine they release, so after Destroyer we have Arcana, Summoner, Scouter, Artist, right? For the classes that are already released that we're missing. Reaper. So Reaper, Arcana, Summoner, Scouter, Artist are all missing. Those 5 classes, more or less, I would say, have the same amount of popularity amongst themselves. I don't think there's one. I think Scouter may kind of push slightly ahead, but for the most part, I think Summoner is pretty tied to it, since Summoner was actually in the CBT, so a lot of people got their hands on it in the CBT and really liked it. Imagine if they released like those 5 classes, and then they only give like 2 Fate and Power Passes. Because that's the other thing, right? If it was a Punica Power Pass, I would kind of understand what they're getting at here, right? Like a Punica Power Pass, too many of those would make it pretty abusable, because I think what they're not saying here is that they don't want to give out too many Power Passes because of the bots, and that's going to be really, that annoys me. Because that's really the only reason I could think of for not giving a Power Pass for at least every single character. At least one, right? is I think this is just their way of saying like we are still trying to get a handle on the bot problem, and we kind of don't want to give them access to too many power passes, especially since they gave away a Fate and power pass, which even though you had to do Fate and to get there, there are bots that are in tier 3, so they got that Fate and power pass. But I mean, like they could just put those extra stuff in there, right? Or they could just be like, here's like an event mission you need to do on that character that, or something, like, you know, there's ways they can get around it. I feel that it's just it annoys me. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think the only thing is that she's just there. To me, it just doesn't make sense. The only way I could see them salvaging this, especially going forward, not just for Destroyer, but for like future classes, is if which they didn't talk about, which I feel like they would have talked about in the quality of life section, because it pretty much is. The other, because like the other caveat is tier 1 and tier 2 still takes a long time to get through. Like even with, especially now that, you know, we have the arc pass and whatever, and then you have the express mission, which you can only use on one character. But we only have the Guardian Raid event, which we don't know what it's getting replaced with, and we don't know if the merchant that replaces it is going to be any good, really, honestly. Basically, like, I hope they change their mind. I hope they give a Fate and Power Pass to Destroyer. I hope, because like the point is a lot of people may go, Destroyer, I don't give a shit. I don't care if it doesn't get a Power Pass or not. But this sets a precedent for future classes where if you have multiple classes that you're waiting for that come out around the same time, and you want to get them up into Volten or Vieques or whatever Legion raid we're on by the time they come out, you're going to want those power passes for all of those classes, at least one. And I really think that them going, we're not releasing a power pass for every class is a mistake. The only way I could see this like being rectified or not being an issue is if they go, well, we don't want to give a power pass to every class, because, you know, they don't want to make it easy for bots or whatever, so we're just going to make it, you're just going to add the honing rate for tier 1 and tier 2, which would basically make the buffs that you get from the express mission just by default how the system works. And in the honing, where it's +2s, it's 100%, and you basically just speed run your way through tier 1 and tier 2. Nobody gives a shit about tier 1 and tier 2 now. Let me just say this, Smilegate, or Amazon, if for some reason somehow this gets to you, it's right now, and nobody cares for being in tier 1 and tier 2. Everybody's just trying to get to tier 3 so they can do Argos, so they can be ready for Volten. You're making a mistake of not doing something for the classes when they release. An express mission with everyone, the power pass for everyone, which I think is easier, which is probably what they should do. Is really, like, I feel like you kind of have to. Again, it's not a huge deal, I think, in the long run, because I don't think Destroyer is going to be that popular of a class, to be honest, even with the changes, especially now with the power pass, because I've seen a lot of people saying that they were planning on buying a character slot, but without a power pass, they're not in the mood for it because it's kind of whatever. There's even people asking, like, are we going to be able to buy power passes, which I don't think so, because they just took down power passes from being purchasable in Korea because they were reworking the system. So I don't think we're going to get purchasable power passes anytime soon. So that's kind of out the window. So basically, if you weren't like me and you didn't save a Verdant power pass, or you didn't save your Fade power pass, or you didn't save your express mission, and you wanted to play a Destroyer and you wanted to get him up and running pretty quickly, you are kind of fucked. That's the cold hard truth about it. Again, we still have 2 weeks, so they have plenty of time to kind of like gain feedback. Like, if people make enough ruckus on the forums about not getting a power pass, they'll probably give us a power pass for Destroyer. Again, it's a Fade and power pass, Smilegate. Just give the fucking power pass for every class. Not that big of a deal. Either that or bring the honing rate buffs for tier 1 and tier 2. Not like, you know, forcing players to have to go through tier 1 and tier 2 with regular honing rates, even with the stronghold research buffs, sucks. Like, it sucks ass. Like, nobody likes it. Like, none of my fond memories are about being in tier 1 and tier 2, right? Like, even for how little this game's been out, all of the memories I have where I'm like, oh, hey, that, you know, this shit's pretty fun, is specifically from from tier 3, from doing shit like the Oreja hard modes with friends and like making fun of each other when we die to stupid mechanics, doing Argos and making fun of each other when somebody gets donkey kicked when they're in the middle of a move. Like those are the memories I have. None of my memories for like I barely remember doing tier 1 and tier 2, even though I just did them like a month or two ago, right? So I think if they stick to this, they're making a mistake. They should really just give us a power pass with all the classes. It should be Phaeton for the first couple classes and then Punica for the second batch of classes, because again, it's either that or bring the honing buffs, one of the two. Because to be honest, I get it. Well, first of all, actually, I don't get it, to be honest. I honestly don't get it why Volton is releasing and we still don't have at least the tier 1 and tier 2 boost, where it's just always +2. Basically the shit that they had in the patch notes before the game released, that everybody was like, oh cool, sweet, so we can be ready for Argos in a month, and then they were like, oh psych, sorry, that was somebody put something that they weren't supposed to there. Yeah, those holding rates, which were fucking amazing, which is basically what the express mission gives you up until +12. Yeah, that, like, just put that in the game, just give us that, like, it's whatever. I'm honestly starting to lose my patience with all of this. Oh, we're sorry we didn't tell you this before, and now that we learned that it's an issue, we'll do it. Like, I'm sorry. Are you telling me that nobody in that office had the common sense to go, oh, players will probably be mad if we don't tell them, like if we tell them like after the fact that we don't think we're going to release a power pass for all the new classes? Like, are you telling me nobody had the common sense to think that in the entire office of Smilegate? To be fair, again, like I said earlier, it's probably less that nobody has the common sense. I mean, that's me kind of just raging there at the end there. It's probably less nobody had common sense and more they just didn't have time to sit down and go, this is probably not a good idea, or we should at least say something ahead of time. Because like I feel like this was such an obvious thing, personally, from as a player, is that this wouldn't go over well, you know, especially since they caught us. They've caught so much flack on the lack of communication and saying and like doing stuff, just keeping shit to themselves that they shouldn't, or like taking too long to plan things out. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't look good in my opinion. For them, for the. All right, why aren't you picking up Lost Ark? Like it doesn't look good for them right now, in my opinion. It looks pretty bad. It looks to me it looks pretty bad. It looks like we don't know what we're doing and we're kind of just scrambling around. That's kind of my personal take on it. There wasn't really much to talk. Like I spent more time complaining about the pirate passing than anything else because it's really all there was to talk about. So it kind of just is what it is. Again, I'm hoping they change their mind. I don't agree with especially with the reasoning they have Rox giving us, because again, like it's obviously not Rox's own personal opinion, in my opinion. Like if you asked me, Rox is probably like, man, this is such a dumb opinion. Or actually, I'm not gonna put words in her mouth. I take that back. But to me, I'm like, this is such a stupid reason. Like, it's a reason. Like, I look at that like if you had me write that, like if I was in charge of like that was the answer I'd be like, you really want me to say this? Like, you really think people are gonna like take this as an acceptable reason for not giving them power passes on new classes? That, oh, we're not giving you new power passes for classes because we decided that we wanted to put you on an expedited schedule and release a lot of classes back to back, and now because of that we don't want to give you power passes, right? Like, that's such a slap in the face to the player, because we have no control over the pacing, right? That's all in their hands. So them kind of being like, oh, we are you know, you're getting stuff too fast, you're getting classes too close together, so we can't give you power passes on everything. That's a shitty excuse. That's just such a BS excuse, in my opinion. Like, at least try for something better, right? Like, you had a readily available excuse in the bots. You could have made people more pissed at the bots, but then people would have just been pissed at you because everybody's been complaining about bots forever. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just shit. I don't know. Like I feel like
This place has great scenery.
I feel like they were doing so well in making them seem they're making themselves seem more proactive and making better decisions, and I feel like this was like 2 steps backwards. Personally, is the way I feel about this. I can't agree with it at all. It's not like there no reasoning they could give me would convince me to be like, yeah, this makes sense. Especially with the whole excuse of, oh, well, you're getting classes so compact, like so close together. Like, yeah, that's something you chose. So since you've made that decision, you should have been prepared to give us power. Like, you should have already thought about this kind of stuff. Is the way I look at it. I don't know. To me, it feels like this is just another addition to the long list of, man, we want to do this, but we didn't really plan out very well how we wanted to do this, is the way it feels like to me. So, which just isn't a good look for a company. Oh, cool. Snowpack. I don't know. Again, they have 2 weeks. We'll see if they change their mind. I'm pretty sure, again, even if you're someone who doesn't care about Destroyer, the fact that potentially you could have multiple classes you like get released back to back without having power passes for each of them, and then having to level 1 from tier 1 to tier 3 without having any sort of honing rate improvements, you should probably care, because this sets a precedent that they will follow. Also, some people be like, oh, well, they'll probably add honing rates. Like, they'll probably add honing rates because they're not giving power passes. Every time honing rates have been asked about on the forums, the only answer we get is, we don't think it's the right time or whatever, or blah blah blah, and they rather supplement us with more mats. Again, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. That is also on the, like, right next to the no power pass of, again, you're telling players you want to get us sped up as fast as possible, and you don't want us to feel like we have to pay to progress, but then you also don't put in tier 1, tier 2 honing rates so that we can get classes to tier 3 faster, so we can enjoy what you yourself advertise as the best part of the game. Because that's, to me, to be honest, that's the big kicker here, right? Is they themselves are advertising the Legion raids as this immensely popular thing, that it's you know, it's the best thing ever, it's the best the game has to offer, and then they themselves are then turning around and like elongating how much time players have to get classes to it. So, especially with new classes coming out. You know, if you didn't want to give us power passes with all the classes, then you should have just released the game with at least most of the classes in the game, if not just all the classes available in the game. Because this isn't, I don't think it's gonna go over well. Again, I'm just saying, because the point is that we don't even know what cadence will do with power pass. For all we know, there's 5 missing classes. They could give us just 1 power pass for the rest of the 5 classes missing, and then they just wipe their hands and call it good, right? And that's, you know, and then when you're stuck with having to decide which of the 3-4 classes you've been waiting to play, which one you're going to power pass and which ones you're going to level up from tier 1 to tier 3, you're going to be kind of annoyed. So I really hope that, you know, people can just make their voices heard, like be like, hey, you either need to give us a power pass for every class, or you need to put in tier 1, tier 2 honing rate buffs. One of those two need to make it in the game, because having neither and then still releasing classes and releasing Legion raids is a load of shit, really. So I really think that people kind of need to step up on this, and we kind of need to be like, hey, you need to figure this shit out. So, or like, you need to do something, because this is not the play. This is not the play. And I'm saying this as someone who, again, I was mentally prepared. So I guess, long story short, before I start doing my dailies real quick, overall feeling for the the update, they basically just confirmed everything we knew for that would be coming in the May update or expected in the May update. They haven't cemented the 19th as a date, which tells me the build isn't even close enough to a position where they can even commit to a date yet. But it still seems like the 19th is what they're aiming for, because they did refer to the 19th when they were talking about the Guardian Raid event. And on the forums, Rox had confirmed that the 19th was the reason for the extension for the 19th was because that's the date they were aiming for the May update. Disappointed at the current power pass situation. I'm hoping they change their mind. I hope enough people cause a ruckus on the forums and they change their mind about it. I don't feel like that's too hard of a thing for them to put into the build, even if they weren't planning it. If not that, then I hope that they were planning on giving the tier 1, tier 2 honing buffs alongside Destroyer. So that's pretty much it. So it's kind of funny because you would think I'd be excited because, you know, I'm waiting for Destroyer, and I'm someone who pre-planned for it. I saved this Vern Power Pass. I saved the Express mission. I don't want to use the Express mission on the fucking Destroyer because I don't want to waste like almost 2 weeks of Guardian raids for the stupid event mission, but here we are. It just is what it is. That's kind of just my wrap-up thoughts on it, on the whole situation. Hopefully they change their mind and not do something dog shit. All right, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna do quick dailies on the scrapper, and then we're gonna probably do, I'd say maybe an hour or two of PvP. I'll probably mix like unranked and ranked in depending on like how things go. Like if I feel like I'm doing good in ranked, so basically I'm gonna start off in unranked to warm up after my dailies, and then if I feel like then we'll do some ranked, and because I need to at least try to see if I could, see if I've improved enough in ranked to kind of gain some MMR that, or just further tank my MMR deeper into bronze, because let's be honest, that's probably what's gonna happen with how it goes. And basically based on how it goes, like if I'm doing ranked and I'm kind of getting my ass whooped and I don't feel like I'm like, I'm not in the right mindset for it, then I'll just go back to unranked to farm more PvP XP to try to get as close to limit 1 as we can for next reset. Because seeing how basically I'm in full hoarding mode of everything, like everything. Nothing is getting spent now, because I need to save up a bunch of pirate coins in case I need to buy tier 1 stuff, which I shouldn't have to, but who knows. I think I'm thinking that with the Vern Power Pass and the Express mission, I should be able to get him to tier 3 pretty quickly with all the mats I have saved up using the honing buffs. So there'll be that. So I was thinking about it the other day, and depending on, so I have a card unpacking stream next week currently planned, as long as the Guardian Raid event doesn't get extended another week, depending on like the May update. So as long as the May update comes out on the 19th, next reset, I'll have a big card unpacking stream. We won't have as many like chances at uncommon cards as I would like, because the Guardian Raid event, all the card packs from it are rare to legendary, not uncommon to legendary. So we're just gonna have to sit there and hope that we get a good number of legendary card packs out of it. But basically we're gonna do a big card unpacking stream depending on how that turns out, right? So if I somehow luck sack myself into getting enough cards to finish the Lost Wind Cliff set, then I won't do the Solus run on the Destroyer. But if I have to do the Solus run, then I'm gonna have to do what I normally try not to do, and I'm basically gonna wake up like early, do my workout early, eat early, or probably not eat early, but basically I'm gonna start playing the game early. My plan is I'm gonna probably start like at least 2 hours before I normally do, or before stream. I'm not gonna stream that part because, to be honest, like Solus runs are pretty fucking boring, but I also just don't want to, like, currently he's the last like playable class I have, so And I think I only need like 7 more Soulless cards, something like that. No, 6 more Soulless cards. I think I'm 1 short for the level 4 Awakening. But basically, I'm gonna start the Soulless run early, off stream, and then go into stream with hopefully like 2 hours of it done, so then we can kind of like speed run through the rest of it. And even then, I might even wake up earlier, right? I might even wake up earlier just to get started even faster. So you might hear a pretty out of it marsh on the day Destroyer comes out, because like I want to do Destroyer stuff. Like I want to do all the honing and all the tower and stuff on stream that day. But I also want to do the like I also need to do the Soulless runs for just to fight the RNG a little bit. So. But yeah, that's kind of just my plan right now for it. So that's kind of how it's going to be. So again, I'm waiting for when they give an actual, when they finally like can cement a day, like when they go, we are doing this on the 19th of May for the update. When they give us that confirmation, I'm going to do a like a checklist, and this one's gonna be even more work than, or I'm probably gonna have to talk about it more and more stuff that you can do on it, since potentially we might have to start our destroyers in tier 3 or tier 1. So, and I'm gonna kind of have to I'm probably gonna make different, like well, not completely different lists, but I'm gonna have to sit down and think about like different ways to do stuff for the way, because if we do end up getting a Fade and Power Pass, then a lot of it is just like pre-prep work that you can get done ahead of time and that I just need to write about. If you have to start in tier 1, especially if you don't have the express mission available, then I'm probably gonna have to go down and like make a section of stuff to remember to do on your destroyer once you get him to tier 3 or once you make him and get him into tier 1 to do it. It's just, it is what it is. So I'm hoping that when we do get that concrete date, we'll find out whether or not they change their minds on the whole Power Pass situation. But we'll see. At this point, it's pretty just copium that they'll change their mind. I mean, granted, they changed their mind before, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Personally, I guess as someone who wanted to be who's pretty. I was, again, if you watch any of my previous VODs, you'll know that I was very much looking forward to Destroyer even before the changes, and so I was looking forward to it even more after the changes. The fact that it got pushed back. And it's not Glaver's fault. A lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, they pushed back Destroyer because of Glaver." No, they definitely pushed the reason Glaver came out so like at that point was definitely because it was definitely because they knew the class balance patch wasn't gonna come out, and I feel like this, especially with the whole like, hey, they're bringing the class balance patch with Destroyer. I think this basically confirms what everybody was assuming, that the reason they delayed Destroyer and Arcana was because they wanted to bring them in their post change state. So now it doesn't really work for Summoner, because a lot of people thought the reason why Summoner was got like replaced with Sorceress was because in the class balance patch I was gonna see a lot of changes, but from what I can tell, the only real change that Summoner had was I think they added another gem, like another attack gem for them to get, or something like that. From what I remember off the top of my head, Summoner didn't really get a lot of changes in the class balance patch that would have constituted a need to bring it out of, replace it with something. It basically plays the same. It gained a new counter. They just changed the synergies to be the like stereotypical defense reduction one that all classes now are going to have, except for the few classes that still have their crit rate one, stuff like that. So Summoner mains, I'm sorry, I don't know. I really don't know why they played Summoner. So, I mean, we might get it next. Who knows? I do know there's a lot of people thinking that we'll get Summoner and Reaper next because of the Proving Grounds video, but I'd like to remind you that that video was probably recorded when the first roadmap was like decided on, and if that's the case, because it came out pretty close to when the updated roadmap came out. Actually, I think it came out before the updated roadmap came out. But basically, all I'm saying is that temper your expectations because we don't know when that footage was recorded, and so for all we know, it could have originally been Reaper and Summoner after Arcana Destroyer, and now it could be something else. We don't know. We have no idea. Even though I think it would make sense for Arcana, Summoner, and Reaper to kind of be the next batch, so that way you could round out their classes. Or at the very least, like Summoner, Reaper, so that way mages have 3 and assassins will have 3 classes to choose from. Because those are currently the only 2 classes that do not have they only have 2 choices. Two class choices. As the assassins and the mages. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Reaper and either Arcana or Summoner comes out next to kind of like round that out a little bit more, and then they follow it up with the mage class they skipped, and then Scouter, and then probably Artist at the end. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they should release Artist like sooner, and they say that because they think it's gonna like cause more people to play supports. It won't. It'll just mean the supports have an extra character to play on, which I guess would still kind of help alleviate the problem, but it's not going to be the whole solution for the problem. If adding more like healing classes would make people play like healers or supports, then no MMO would have problems with, you know, having people play healers or supports. But healers / support being a role that is very small compared to the regular player base is a problem all MMOs have. Actually, it's a problem all games have. Even if you go play like MOBAs and stuff like that, those are in those games, like in those types of games, you're gonna have a hard time finding people who like to play tanks and healers, because people just like playing damage dealers. Like, that's just how it goes. So even though I have seen a lot of people asking for it though, a lot more than usual. Because it's like I was saying, I'm pretty sure like all the classes left that haven't been announced are all pretty even on popularity for what players want, like players want them kind of thing. Actually, that being +2 is pretty worthless. We just get a purple with +2. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Should have enough to fit all of these. I don't know. Okay, that's done. Let's come over here. Yeah, so as you can see, I have a Verdant Power Pass. I saved that. I haven't used my Express mission. I have some mats saved up for tier 1. I have some tier 1 chests still. Not too many, but a couple left. Where'd you go? Okay, like here's Destruction Stone one. Here's a Leap Stone one. And then here's a Guardian Stone one. So I have 3,700 Guardian Stones on top of the 4,000. I have 80 Destruction Stones, which is basically nothing, but I have 1,400 saved up here. And then I have 100 Harmony Leap Stones saved up. So on top of having a couple Leap Stones already, I'll probably end up having to use the honing shard selection chest on for shard pouches, but probably not. Because I think I might get enough between the tower and then infinite chaos and pirate coins and PvP coins. Because basically, I'm just gonna save up everything now. Like currency wise, I plan on just saving everything. For the most part. Pirate coins probably not. I'll probably start buying some like probably not tier 1, but probably tier 2 stuff. To save up for the destroyer, but I'll save this whole explanation for when we do the actual like pre-prep for it. We have to finish doing our dailies real quick. So then I can get started on PvP, and then we can see how much I can take my MMR. Even further than it already is. I want to at least, I think I'm going to try to at least get to limit 1 this week. On for the PvP XP stuff. Or Ultra 1, whatever the fuck it's called now. The issue is I picked up Apex recently, and so every time my brain's like, hey, let's PvP, my brain then also goes, yeah, but let's go PvP in Apex. So I've been kind of like slacking on PvPing in Lost Ark. More than I should. So I definitely need to make more time for PvP in Lost Ark. I'm pretty sure that'll probably change in with Destroyer. Because I've seen Destroy PvP, and Destroy PvP looks fun. It looks fun to be the Destroyer in Destroy PvP. I feel like it's not very fun to fight against a Destroyer in PvP. Which is fine by me, because it's also not very fun for me to fight against Berserkers and Deathblades. I'll just join that crowd of people. Even though I'm pretty sure, like there's probably like one of the changes one of the tripod changes they did to one of the abilities for Destroyer. I'm probably 90% sure that that's like they made it a very strong PvP skill, because Destroyer has this ability that they shoot like this laser beam, this gravity laser beam out of their hammer, and they decided to give that a tripod. Well, first of all, they decided that that gives you 2 orbs, 2 gravity cores every time you hit somebody, and then they decided that they wanted to give that a tripod that would reduce the attack speed and the movement speed of the target hit by it. And that thing has a pretty decent range. So, granted, it also kind of locks you in place while you're doing it. Where you at? Over there. So it does have a bit of a trade-off, but I feel like it's still going to be an annoyance, especially because I think one of the tripods turns it into like a chain move, or either one of the tripods turns into a chain move, or just by default, because you can. If I'm saying I think it might just be a chain move by default. But I was watching, I think, Memorizer's video on it, and that move, when you hit it twice, gives you 4 cores. So in PvP, that's going to be disgusting, because you could hit someone that twice, get them like move speed reduction, and then hit them with like oops, turned a little too early. Hit them with like a full swing or fucking seismic hammer or something like that, like something gnarly that'll definitely make them regret getting hit by that beam, because that's Destroyer's main weakness, right, in PvP, is that they're slow. Well, that's their main weakness in general, is that Destroyer is a slow class, which is why I still think that even with the changes, that Destroyer is still not going to be a super popular class, just because as a DPS class, it's pretty slow. I would say it's probably about as slow as a Gun Lancer, probably a little bit faster than a Gun Lancer, because it has some movement that you can use. But the issue is that generally you only take 1 form of the movement ability, because it's usually in your blue skills. So it's a pretty slow class, but being able to have an ability that lets you reduce the move speed in PvP is going to be amazing, because that's one of the things that makes bards like a pain in the ass to deal with in PvP, in my opinion, is they can reduce people's move speeds like really easily, because they have those stupid orbs that like track people. Like, those suck. I hate those. I hate when I get stuck by one, because I'm like, oh my god, it feels like it takes like 3 years to run to catch up to someone when you're slowed down in PvP. But But with Destroyer, it takes a bit more skill because you have to aim the laser beam, but you can catch multiple people in it, and it causes paralysis when it hits. So it's. I feel like it's going to be a pretty good ability in PvP to use. I don't know. I'm looking forward to kind of like theory crafting a bit in PvP because I think on the PvE side of things, they're still trying to figure out what a build for Destroyer. I think for the most part, the only thing that's been like agreed upon is that you use 4 purple skills now because you kind of have to. But I think the blue skills are pretty much kind of up to personal preference outside of Heavy, Crash, and Ignore Pain. I think the other two that you can take, you have like I think like 2 or 3 choices from the tripod changes that you can choose which one you prefer. I think it's more personal preference at that point. There probably is one that's like DPS wise, like, well, this one deals more damage, but to be honest, as a destroyer, like almost all your damage comes from your purple abilities, so a blue ability dealing slightly more damage than another blue ability, I feel like is kind of negligible. I don't think it's gonna like, I don't think it'll make or break your DPS run. Something that was interesting though, I saw a build, and I didn't like, he didn't keep the build because they changed it. From what I could tell, there was a guy who was running both of the wait, why am I going there? Who was running both of the abilities that give you 3 gravity cores as a destroyer. So as a destroyer, you have Ignore Pain, which will give you 3 gravity cores, which you can then tripod to always give you 3 gravity cores whether you hit the target or not. And then you have what is it? I think it was like Earth Smasher was the other one that gives you 3 gravity cores, and I saw someone running both of them in a build. Now, I don't know if it worked out because I feel like the cooldown on Earth Smasher is a little too long to kind of like that where you won't have downtime, because since your gravity core generation on a destroyer is static now, your big goal is to just always have buttons to push to always generate gravity cores to always be able to push a purple button. It's kind of the playstyle that it's going to be, since you no longer have to like guess, you no longer have to sit there and gamble on whether or not you can perfect swing in the next 2 hits or 3 hits kind of thing. So, but I'll also leave that for when Destroyer comes out. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. Destroyer, when I talk about Destroyer, it gets my juices pumping in my head, in my brain juices, they just get pumping. Like, think about stuff and be like, yeah, that is what I want to do. Trying to get all these dailies done. I always try to get the reporter stuff out of the way, like, first thing, because I always forget when I, like, leave it for later. So I'd rather just do it now, get it over with, and then we'll PvP for, like, 1 or 2 hours or something like that. Well, I'll try to, I think I could probably do 1 hour. Doing longer than an hour will depend on how built that I get it ranked. Which then again, I guess I could just go to unranked and keep practicing. Because I've had some, last week I had some pretty good, well, no, not last. No, yeah, last week I had some pretty good matches. I think I've been slowly getting more and more used to how to play Scrapper in PvP. I kind of had this bad tendency where I was trying to play Scrapper more like a warrior in PvP rather than actually playing the like a way you kind of should be playing, which is more of like a guerrilla fighter trying to like just make people regret their life decisions kind of thing. Granted, it's harder to do than it sounds because you don't have Scrapper is a very, very close range class, as like most martial artist classes are, except for the Soul Fist. But it doesn't have, I would say it doesn't have as much lockdown potential as like say War Dancer or Striker, because War Dancer and Striker, they have the freeze on the jump. They have Striker specifically has the Lightning Tiger that has super armor on it. That's a very good like escape or catch tool, so you can catch someone with it or you can get out of a sticky situation with it. Soulfist is just Soulfist. It just has range, so it's always going to be really good. 275. Yeah, we'll be done with this like 500. Yeah, we'll be done with this in like a week and a half, something like that. But I just feel like Scrapper is it's a bit high risk, but it has high reward though if you get it off. If you can like do it, because you generally have enough things in your kit to lock down a target if you can, if you know how to put your cards right, and if the person doesn't know how to like get away from you. The problem is that Scrapper on an even playing field has is probably one of the top classes that you don't want to get caught out on. Like you don't want to get stuck in a 2v1 with. So you kind of have to keep your head on a swivel on like where everyone is and what everyone's doing, so that you can get a so that you don't get caught off guard, because you don't really have a lot of like escapes. You have Dragon's Advent, which you can, you know, put super armor on to escape, but like your stun is pretty short range, so, and it's pretty easy to whiff from my experience, at least at, you know, at my skill level. If I hit like 50% of, like, you know, 50 out of 100 stuns, it's probably above normal for me. Probably even less than that, to be honest. Probably 30 out of 100. Because I'm still getting used to, like, because it doesn't have a very like wide spread on it. It just has, it's pretty, it's kind of like a tube in front of you is the way it feels when you use it. I still need to go to Shoe Sharp, but sorry about that. But yeah, we'll see. It really just comes down to practice. Practice. I should have done more unranked before ranked came out. Because I'm like, I don't know why in my head I was like, I got this. I should be able to get at least out of bronze. Yeah, I got this. Even though, you know, in hindsight, I should have been like, I should just not touch ranked for like a month. Let the people who know what they're doing get like higher ranked and get out of bronze, kind of thing. But because, you know, since we all start at 0, that means it was pretty easy to tell when I was facing someone in bronze who knew what they were doing versus when I was facing someone in bronze who had no idea what, you know, they were like me. They were new to the PvP. As like,
welcome.
You have to remember, if you tried to do a ranked PvP in that first like month or so, it was probably the worst thing you could have done, because you're competing with players who PvP'd in like Russia for like a year at least or something like that. Or you could potentially be facing people, like, basically you're running the risk of facing people who have a decent amount of experience from previous regions. Decent amount of experience with shittier ping if they're playing on the NA servers. So now with good ping, you know, they're pretty much set. So if you ever, like, if you were doing like ranked like early on when they first introduced it, and you ever ran into an issue where you're like, man, that person seems a hell of a lot better than like they should be at my level, it's probably because they were. It's probably because they shouldn't have been in bronze. Which is why, instead of starting everybody in bronze, they should have just done placement matches, like regular placement matches where you don't, you know, you don't gain or lose MMR. It just, you know, it just has like a secret internal MMR that goes click, 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 click. And then after a certain amount of matches, it puts you in a rank, and then from there you kind of climb. I don't know. I feel like if they wanted to do this sort of MMR, they should have gone with like, so like I picked up, so like I was saying earlier, I picked up Apex recently, and Apex has a really interesting system in that the way it works is you pay an entry fee, quote unquote entry fee, when you go into ranked, depending on what rank you're in. So you have rank points, which you can basically look at it as a currency, and then every time from silver or higher you enter a rank, it costs a certain amount of rank points to enter that match. And then what you're doing is you're trying to break at least even for the amount of points you spent. So I think silver was like, you know, it's like minus 12. Like it costs you 12 rank points to get into a silver match. So then your goal is to at least survive long enough to get plus, so that way you can climb. And then the cost gets greater and greater as you go higher and higher in ranked. I feel like that's probably the best system I've seen for a game who decides to just start people at bronze, because and it works really well for battle royale. I don't know how it would work for something like this, where, I mean, you could probably like fine tune the cost and stuff like that, but I feel like that's probably what they should have done here if they wanted to start everybody in bronze. It was like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the dynamic thing where you gain and lose a big chunk of MMR at the beginning, and then you like gain and lose less and less and less as you go on. I think it's a very like convoluted, shitty system, personally, in my opinion. But there's a Not much we can do about it. We're kind of stuck with it. I'm just hoping that I can at least do enough to get to silver. I'd like at the very least to be silver, which I think is doable. All right, come on. I'm out of fucking combat. Let's go. I think silver is doable. Yeah. Shit. Bruh. Are you fucking serious, dude? I know you haven't been waiting here that long. You were in the other channel with me. Like, God. Like, I didn't even try to contest him over there because I was letting him be, and then he's like, nope, those are all mine. It's like, bruh, I know you weren't here for that long. You were literally in the other channel with me. I don't know, this is why I hate this one nowadays. People are such dicks about it. But yeah, so I think maybe they could adapt to something like that, or whatever the new MMR system is, because I hear people really like the MMR, like the updated MMR system that they do in all the other regions, basically. Like, we're the only region with this shitty MMR. Let me not think about it, even though I'm gonna have to think about it here in a second. Because it's gonna make me salty on top of the whole power pass thing and all that kind of shit. I don't know, I feel like they've slowly been stacking up stuff over time that annoys me, that is gonna eventually make me just flip shit on this game at some point. But that's how it is. That's how it always is. Especially if you really like a game, is they make like these little mistakes, or they do these like stupid decisions, like little by little, that eventually like you're giving a lot of patience, and eventually you just run out of patience and you just flip shit, and you're just like, what the actual fuck is going on here? But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. La di da. Alright, so now we activate the good luck overlay. We change to force 21 by 9. And then we go and we sit in a comfortable position. Let's see, where do we want to sit? We gotta sit somewhere for good luck. Where do you want to sit? Usually I chill in Nia Village, but I don't know if I want to be hearing Lila every time I like phase in and out. There's no Chaos Gate today, is there? No, it's just Moke. I guess we'll just chill in Lila, in Lila Town. Hopefully Moke gives me another Papu Crab today. I still need 2 more for the for the recipe. I mean, I also need the Omnium Star. I only have the Bleed Rune out of all the stuff he can drop. Alright, here we go. We're gonna do like 2 matches and just unranked, and then I'll do some ranked, because we'll see what we can do. I hope I'm hoping the UI isn't bugged this time, because I tried to do some last minute PvP matches, but I did them late in the day, and I only wanted to do enough to get to level 9, the tier 9. But unfortunately my thing bugged out, and I didn't pay attention, and so it wouldn't tell me how much PvP experience I was actually getting. And so I was like, man, I don't even know how many. I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. So I just went to sleep. And then when I woke up with a reset, I found out that I was literally like 1 or 2 matches away from getting level 9. And I was just annoyed. Gun Lancer. Oh, that's a dirty comp. Double Gun Lancer versus Striker, Bard, Scrapper. Well, actually, no, we might be at a disadvantage. Basically, I'm just gonna have to like hug my Gun Lancers. Because with Gun Lancers, you kind of have to play at their tempo, because if you leave them out by themselves, they can be pretty boned if the enemy team knows what they're doing. Even though these guys are Supreme 5, so they definitely have more experience than me in PvP. Okay. Wait, what? Oh shit, I got caught by the Oh, that's the slow I was talking about. Oh, they have it. What has Earthquake? Oh. I got caught in the... I got stunned and caught in the thing, yep. What is he... Why are you... Oh my god. Is he low health? He's probably low health. That's probably what it is. Yeah. I was gonna say, double gun lancer is pretty rough to deal with. Are you serious? Dude, like, I've been spamming the fucking spacebar this whole time. That's the one thing I don't like. The fact that, like, you can't spacebar out of juggles is so annoying. Or paralysis or anything like that. Fuck. The range stun from a bard is such a pain in the ass to deal with. Fuck. Such a pain in the ass to deal with. Fuck. He's just a better scrapper than I am. There's just nothing I can do. I just get locked down by everything. Like if it's not the scrapper, it's the bard, and then if it's not the bard, it's the striker. Yeah. There's just... See, like there, I was trying to like shut down the scrapper. And the striker just froze me. What was that? I've never seen that move before. This is also why you do like warm-ups, because going into ranked like this would have been a bad idea. I'm very like that combo is so annoying. Yeah, oh, see that move? I'd never seen a bard use that move before. Okay, okay. See, that's kind of also what I was talking about. The oh shit, I fucked up. I fucked up. That was. I'm a scrapper. I should have recognized what that is. But yeah, that was just bad. The striker and the bard played off of each other very well, and then the scrapper just played along with them. They were just a lot better than I was. The scrapper especially was better than I was. Oh. The strikers thing is still in the old name change. Yeah, he's Supreme too. He was just better than me. He had really good like initiations and on the stuff. I think I might do more than just 2 matches in unranked. Granted though, like something like that is obviously like I really wish there was a solo queue for unranked, because it makes it hard to practice an unranked when you get situations like that, like I don't know if the striker and the bard were in fact from like the same group, because I have had times where I've queued solo and I've been queued into people from my own server, but the way they played definitely felt like they were playing together, because anytime I tried to do something to one or the other one was there to kind of like throw CC on me. Which is why when at first I thought like, oh wow, this is gonna be kind of rough for them, because I was like, oh, we have 2 gun lancers, but then I saw what they had and I was like, ooh, never mind, that's gonna be kind of rough to deal with for us, because we don't really have any answers for anything they have. Because 1 gun lancer is good, 2 gun lancers, probably a little too slow, to really deal, especially with the martial artist heavy group. They can definitely outspeed, like outrun outrun gun lancers very, very easily. Look at these fancy ladies. I'm on the wrong team. I gotta be over here with the office ladies. Oh my god. I find it funny how on some of them they have like 20th limit, and then on other ones it's like is this like I don't get it. I personally don't like the name change. Oh, I forget that has a stun on it. Saw that coming. Leaving. Saw that coming. Got caught in that. That was a nice catch by the Deathblade. Oh, I should have jumped after. Made a lot of damage here. Nice. Oh shit. I'm telling you, I hate True Rising Fist, man. It's so slow of a fucking ability. Give me something else to use there. It's so slow, but it's the only button I have to push. I almost did that. What? Bruh. The amount of space that pulls up is ridiculous. Okay, yep, just juggle me for days. I hate that about Death Blades. They can just juggle you for like years. Oh, come on, the dodge was on cooldown. Fuck. Ah! I was pretty sure I had the, like, I could have sworn I had my dodge off cooldown. And I don't know, maybe it lagged or they just caught me before I could, Nice, 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 nice. We're able to pull that back in the end. Not bad, not bad. We could have done better. Got a little too greedy on some of those. Like, I thought I had my dash, because what I was planning to do for the Sork, because the Sork was chasing me, because he was going to try to, like, throw something at me. I was trying to, like, knock her down and then dodge out. So that way I don't have to, like, I wouldn't get caught. But either I didn't really pay attention, or, they caught me, like, I don't know, like, there was something. I fucked up there. Alright, so it's tracking this time, finally. Yeah, so our goal is we need at least, like, 5,000? This tier maintenance cost sucks, I'm not gonna lie. But I need like 5,000 XP to level up. I don't understand why like, I could understand the tier maintenance for competitive, or maybe once you break into, like, the ultra ranks, or get higher in the ultra ranks, but I don't understand why, like, my rank, like, this low rank. Because, like, I'm down... I guess I'm, like, halfway. I guess it kind of makes sense. Still, I'm not a big fan of this. I understand why they do it. It's because you get a weekly allotment of coins for your rank, but it just means you, like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of how steep the cost is. That's just me, though. That's just a me thing. Oh, right, it's the fucking beginning of the week, so it's like all the way at the bottom. Shit. Because you need to rank up. Because if you rank up, you get more, like, you get a higher multiplier for your points. I need to do more. We'll do one more unranked, and then we'll do, like, 2 or 3 ranked matches. See how that goes. And then if the ranked matches don't go very well, I'll probably go back to unranked. Then I'll probably just keep flip-flopping back and forth. What is this? Oh, didn't even let me... I don't know what the co-op battles are. I know they're at, like, certain times, if I'm not mistaken, but... Or... Yeah, see... 7 to 9. But... I don't think I've ever watched what it actually is. Alright, so none of us in here are very good. Good to know. That's how I can find out the... It's a real quick indicator for the skill levels when I'm the fucking MVP person at the beginning. I have no idea when I secured double kills. Oh, artillerists, yeah. Double range, so I gotta have to, like... Turn my UI off. Grandlancer, artillerists, and a sorceress. Doesn't really... Right, I forget that has like a after effect. That has like an after effect. Oh. Oh, that stuns everybody in it. I didn't know that. Yoink. Yoink. Bye. What? Oh, the ice got me. Look at that kill. Killed the turret. Oh, eat it, eat it, eat it. I'm telling you to eat it. No, no, oh, fine, I'll eat it. I didn't mean that I wanted it. I was trying to tell him to get it, Wait, what caught me? Something like caught me in the air there. I don't know what. Yeah. I think they thought I was saying that I wanted it, but I wasn't. I was trying to tell them to go eat it. Because they were pretty low. Oh. Mother truckin'. Run in circles. As long as the Sork doesn't get it. Oh no. He didn't eat it. There you go. Alright. I'm not doing too bad. I don't know who won or lost. Nice! Not bad. Not bad. My damage is always really bad though, because I always miss a lot of my death rattles. Alright. Time for some ranked. Hopefully we can do better this time than we have been for the past couple. Yeah, see. I was almost... So basically I did this in the span of like 1 weekend. Just tanking my MMR. I was pretty close to silver when I first started because I had a pretty good showing at the beginning. And then I just went on like a downward spiral, and instead of just calling it quits, I was like, no, I'm gonna try to win. So this. Yeah, we're still down here. This is the beginning of the week. Because like at the end of last week, I only did like 7 matches and I was at 75 percentile. Which gives you like getting out of those low levels gives you getting into like 75% or higher gives you some pretty decent sized multipliers for the scores. Alright, what do we got? Sork Artillery Scrapper on my side. Sork Shadowhunter Deathblade on their side. Alright, so I think I need to try to protect both the Sork and the Artillerists. Less the Artillerists and more the Sork. Because Artillerists has like shield and stuff he can give himself, and he has a lot of super armor moves like flamethrower. Well, at least paralysis immunity moves like flamethrower and stuff. No, actually flamethrower is super armor. I'm mistaken. Because I can't knock it down, but with my knockdown. But we'll see. Ran out of them. It wasn't the button I was trying to push, but Look at that. The fucking... The amount of juggle that a Deathblade can do is ridiculous. Shit. I was trying to dodge back into the fire. Deathblades are just... like, they're honestly just so crazy in PvP. They have such big, like, AoEs that they can, juggle whole teams with. And then, they have a lot of super armor on set abilities. Because like it's super annoying, right? Because like as an assassin class, they should be squishier than like most other things, but they have so much super armor that you can't like stagger them out of some stuff. So they all of a sudden become one of the tankier or like one of the harder to kill one of the harder to kill melee classes. Shit. Don't even get me started on Shadow Hunters. Shadow Hunters with their like super long laser, kind of annoying. Because they're basically like a really strong hybrid. What? Oh, right, because I jumped into the electrocution beam and then I got electrocuted. See, because that's where I get annoyed, right? Like Scrapper doesn't have any of that. Like all we have is a short melee stun that you have to be pretty close in range to get off. And oh shit. See, like that, like he has a, this is why I say that like playing Scrapper is a fuck. Fucking dead. Right, like, oh, that's so frustrating. Like fucking cost us though. We could have gone to tie if I hadn't gotten greedy at the end. Or if I just ulted instead, right? If I'd answered her ult with my ult instead, I probably could have killed her out of that. Oh well. But I feel like that was a pretty good show of why I feel that Scrapper is like, it's painful to PvP as a Scrapper. The problem is I don't care about PvP on any other class but Scrapper and Destroyer. And so unfortunately right now all I can do is PvP on a Scrapper. So like, but it's painful because you're running into, so you have Deathblades with the super armors, Berserkers with super armors, Earthquake. You have Shadow Hunters with a really long laser beam, and they have a lot of, they're basically a hybrid, they're basically like the assassin version of a Soul Fist. They have a lot of, they're hybrid melee range damage dealer. And they're really good. So like, I don't know, like, it feels that whoever designed Scrapper just didn't design them with PvP in mind. Is the way it feels like when you look at what other classes have, and then you look at what Scrapper has, and you're just like, ooh, like, who designed these, right? I don't know, because like for instance, our stun, very short range, 0 paralysis immunity. So this, like, an auto attack will can't negate your stun, because your stun doesn't stun anything if it doesn't hit, like, because it's a melee attack. It has no range on it whatsoever. It's a very short range stun. and it has no paralysis immunity on it. And I've literally had a Sork auto attack me in the face when I'm trying to stun her, and that staggered me out of getting the stun off because there's no paralysis immunity on instant hit. There is none, and you can't put any on it. I wish you could. That'd be nice, but you can't. Like for instance, tracking instinct. The fact that this is a level 3 tripod, when usually the equivalent for that ability is a level 1 tripod. Like that's literally just 1 meter more, and they made it level 3. Meanwhile, Iron Cannon Blows level 3 is move distance, attack speed, and push damage to push immune targets. Right? Like there's a huge difference between the two. I still kind of want to try Iron Cannon Blow, but because it has tenacity, you can put tenacity on it. Like this is, and then you start looking through some of these older tripods, and you start trying to like, every time you think you know the like why stuff is at certain levels, you then get something like this where it's like, oh well, it gives you 4 meters. Yeah, but so what? Give it paralysis immunity on top of that. Then we're talking. I don't know. That's just my take on it. But then again, they are supposed to be doing some like PvP rebalancing this year. They said. I don't know if if they're actually going to do any like nitty gritty stuff, like going into like specific classes. Oh, surprise, surprise! Another Deathblade, Shadow Hunter. Let's see, Deathblade, Shadow Hunter, Soulfist, Shadow Hunter. Oh, never would have guessed that I'd just be the only. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Nobody plays. This is why I don't play ranked all too much. Is because you need a lot of practice with Scrapper to get good at them, but then almost everything in the game has an answer for what Scrapper can do, so that's cool armor. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I do know what to do. In 2 weeks is swap my PvP main to Destroyer. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, the cool cutters are out. There's the good stun. That Soulfist wasn't even trying to interrupt me. They just happened to throw an ability in that direction. And my teammates are not helping, as I'm getting 2v1 literally right next to them. Love it. Everything is just getting interrupted by everybody and their mothers. A little frustrating, but... Oh, careful. I'll just say, yeah, the Soulfist. Careful. Holy shit, that beam, though. That beam, though. He wasn't even on my screen, and he still got me with it. Jesus. Soulfist, please. I got caught in that cool cutter. Oh my god. I say don't fight him there, because that guy's gonna come out with immunities. Just barely dodge that. Just barely dodge that again. Shit. Bro, who gave them the artillerist move? What the fuck? I hit? Thank you. I was hitting Death Rattle for days. I was sitting there hitting my R button. I'm just like, can I get like death rattle to go off? Because my death rattle has tenacity on it, so. Shit, shit. Wow. That's why. They had, the Shadow Hunter came in with demon form. They were smart. They didn't pop it like when they were dying, so. I'll fight you in there. Good. Alright, fuck it up. Never mind. I was like, alright, I'll go get you. We gotta play it smart. I mean, if the Soulfist isn't gonna come out. Fuck. Shit. Oh, shit, they got the other guy. Oh, I did everything I could there, though. Bro, ranked is just full of assassins and Soulfist right now. You can't tell me that it's a coincidence that, Also, see, this is what I'm talking about, like, I don't know. Just, I hate this, like, everybody's losing different MMRs depending on, like, how, like, just do the same amount of MMR for losing and winning. Call it good. Like, and I'm just gonna go back to unranked. I'm not just... I've lost 2 matches in a row. They were close matches, don't get me wrong. And the first one, I cost it myself. We could have gone into a tie, but this is why I don't go into ranked right now. Because, it's just full of Deathblade. It's just full of assassins and like characters with a bunch of super armors, which Scrapper doesn't have. And I like Scrapper PvP. I like the complexity of it, but she's just not a ranked PvP class to play as a person who doesn't have a lot of experience with like PvP. Like, she's great for unranked. You just unrank the way, right? Like, just do all the unrank you want. Because it doesn't really matter in unranked if you win or lose, because you're always gaining something in unranked. But in ranked, you lose too much. Like, 2 matches and I went down to 1100 in MMR. Like, because I lost like almost 50 points just from 2 losses. Even though I played pretty much as good, like, to the best of my abilities. Also, ironically enough, ranked is supposed to have better matchmaking for this, you know, and I have a literally 20% higher win rate in unranked as I do with like ranked, and in unranked I run into pre-mades. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is what it is. It's just that, so I'd heard before that what a lot of people do in like PvP ranked is when they're stuck in bronze, they all just play like Deathblades, Berserkers and stuff like that until they get out of bronze, and then they go play on another class, because your ranked MMR is roster wide. So yeah, like you can't tell me it's coincidence that 2 matches back to back were just full of assassins and a Soulfist. That's what it was on both sides. It was just assassins and Soulfist. And I don't have a Soulfist, and I don't plan on buying a character slot for a Soulfist. So yeah. So in case you wondered why I don't do ranked PvP, that's why. Is because Scrapper just isn't is not a ranked friendly PvP class if you don't have a lot of PvP experience. At least that's my opinion on it from having played it in PvP. It is not very ranked friendly if you don't have a good grasp on how PvP works. It's not very PvP friendly. Do, do, do. So, this is why I just stayed unranked. For now. For now. I think with Destroyer is, Destroyer's probably a little easier to play in PvP than Scrapper. Alright, so he wasted his Earthquake. He wasted the jump. But I don't. Oh, they're both war dancers. For some reason, I thought one was a Scrapper. You like that 21K, baby. Caught out by the other war dancer. Oh shit. Yeah, that was a mistake. I was already pushing the button to jump back in when I saw him like scream and start the stuff. And I was like, oh shit, that was... Are you... bruh. Bro, I can't land anything to save my life right now. Every time I try to like aim something, it goes in the opposite direction. It's getting on my nerves. And I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's the game, I don't know what's going on, but it's been... This match specifically has been an issue. I love being juggled without being able to get out of it. So much fun. Bruh, what the fuck is going on? My dodge is not, like, coming off cooldown when it's supposed to. God. Like, I'm like 90% sure my dodge should have been off cooldown there and it wasn't. Or, like, and it didn't fucking work. I was sitting there hitting the fucking spacebar like a mad... Did he get fucking chicken again? Are you shitting me? Bruh. There's just so many hits going out all at once that I can't even... Bruh, there's so many hits going on. I didn't even know what was going on. 1 second I think I'm fine, then the Berserker's fucking whirlwinding or Tempest slashing, and then this is not the... It's not the Berserker, it's the whatever. I'm not doing very good today. I don't know if it's just like... I don't know. Like, I'm missing everything. I haven't hit a single stun. Well, actually, I've hit a couple stuns. I've whiffed a lot of jumps. I've whiffed... Like, I'm just missing everything right now. I need to double check my settings. I don't don't think there's anything that like cursor speed. I have that turned off. Oh, this is no, never mind. This is for keyboard control. Turn those off. Turn those off. Turn that off. I don't know. I feel like the responsiveness is slow. I don't know if it's me or I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like a mental thing where I'm like, oh, I feel like it's slow, or if it's actually like slow, right? I'm kind of just like, I just don't know. Because to me, there, I want in my brain, I was like, all right, I want to dodge here. I want to like jump over here, and I want to like shoot the thing over there. Like my brain was like, I was trying to shoot here, and then the ability would come out here, and I was trying to shoot over here, and then the ability would come out over here, and like, I don't know if it's just I'm pushing the button too fast, or if like it's not actually using the point of the cursor to aim or something. I don't know. Something feels off to me today with the abilities. Something feels off. But I was doing a lot better last week when I was playing. Doing a lot better. I'm still, to be honest, actually today isn't a day I should have done ranked. I was already kind of annoyed because of the whole no power pass thing. I should have just stayed in unranked. Just practice in unranked. Because it's not like I haven't been doing PvP. I do at least like 5 to 10 matches a week. Well, 5 matches at least, like 5 to 7. Because I do the PvP weekly on one character. But I don't know, today feels off to me. See, Scrapper, Gunlancer, Shadow Hunter with Paladin, Sorceress, Shadow Hunter. Fun. Well, at least we got a Gunlancer, so kind of evens out a little bit. Them having a Paladin. Sorceress. Those blades look cool. I like the wings and I like the weapons for like the Shadow Hunter, the platinum stuff. I'm not too big of a fan of like the rest of the armor. What? Oh my god, dude, how close does that come out to the... Oh, wait, are they on the same side? I fucked up. I fucked up so hard. Okay, how? Like, I couldn't see him. Like, and that was not a blind spot for me. I have to sacrifice myself here in a second. Bro, even if you had parried that, like, you're so far away, you wouldn't do anything. Ah. This Shadow Hunter, for some reason, can see me from, like, everywhere. It's kind of annoying the shit out of me. electrocuted. Oh, they know how to shadow hunter. Shit, dude, what's the AoE on that shit? I didn't think the I wasted that Oh, fuck. Oh, I thought it was aiming at the gun lancer, so I was trying to, like, knock him down, and then I ate his, like, probably what's the hardest hitting ability that he has. Fuck, I'm so fucked. Like, I'm just fucked in the corner. Like, I can't get up, I can't do anything. Gun Lancer's safe, okay. Ah, we still lost. I don't get it, because, like, I'm pretty sure I should have clear view of him from that top direction with the angle I'm coming from, but I can never see him when he's running at me, but he can see me every time. See, look at this. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I just don't know what to do either. It's the thing, right? Like, I just don't know what. That's the other problem, right? There's just, like, and I've been trying to watch scrapper videos. I've been trying to watch PvP videos, and I have no idea where to even start, besides just throwing my head against unranked, and then just trying to, just try to get good that way. So, yep. This is kind of why I don't PvP too. I think this is why, like, when I want to PvP, my brain goes, like, go play Apex. Because, like, Apex has come down to I'm just bad at FPSs, right? And I just gotta get better at it. With this, it's like, I feel like it's literally that you can count on one hand how many classes don't counter Rapper. Which is why I'm looking forward to Destroyer. Because Destroyer is, from what I've seen, he's a pretty strong boy. Wood Dancer, Scrapper, Sork versus a Deathblade, Bard, and a Sharpshooter. Yay. No supports. To be honest, like, Paladins are more annoying to kill than a Bard in a PvP situation. But I feel like a good Bard, or even, like, on the same skill level, like a Bard and a Paladin on the same skill level, a Bard's more annoying to deal with in a team fight. They have just so much shit to just stop things. It's like, oh, you lock down a target? Well, they'll just throw down a big circle that picks people up and then slams them back down. You know, oh, you want to initiate on them? Well, they have a long range stun. They'll just stun your whole team, and then they'll, What? Oh, right, they have a sharpshooter. For some reason, I thought that Deathblade was the sharpshooter. We're just getting fucking destroyed here. That is... Pretty sure that's not where I was aiming my stun, but okay. We're just getting destroyed, and we have no real way of recovering from... Right. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, a Bard is, like, super annoying to deal with. All right, and why was he stun immune? Like, I'm pretty sure I waited long enough to stop, but I guess not. Whatever. Yeah, so there, like a bard, like that was a good stun where we could have capitalized, and the bard just threw a knockdown, just shut down any sort of initiation on that you could have possibly done. Because your super armor only lasts for so long. Fuck off, dude. I think I can still catch her. Oh, for fuck's sake. I feel like there's so many moves where the hitbox itself just doesn't, like, is slightly bigger than fuck. Than the actual move itself, and it just is really annoying. I have to be careful because there's a fucking... But... Yep, nothing I can do. Super armor. I was punching them and they still stunned me. So, because like I don't know if their stun has super armor or paralysis immunity or any of that nonsense. Long range stun. That's why I think bards are more annoying, personally. Is this guy get over. Shit. That was a good stun. Like the bard's really good. On, dude. The fucking range on their stun is ridiculous. It's just frustrating to deal with. The bard is really good. I have a hard time complimenting Deathblades being good because, like, I feel like part of the reason a Deathblade is good is not because, like obviously there's good Deathblade players, right? But at my skill level, like, if you're a good Deathblade player, you're not at my skill level, right? You're not getting matched against me. If you're getting matched against me, you're probably not very good at all. The bard was really good. The fucking CCs from the bards were like on point more often than not. The problem though is that anytime I tried to like initiate on the bard, the sharpshooter was like generally around the bard and could like was shutting me down, while the deathblade was just wreaking havoc on everything. Because it's really hard to shut down a deathblade, especially because you can't just CC chain them. Like you can't stun lock them to death. And stuns are the only thing that overwrite super armor. So, especially in these sorts of environments, like Deathblades just can run rampant, and it becomes very. It's not very easy to stop them. Especially their stun, man. Their stun is disgusting to hit, and even they're not even the one with the worst stun. I feel like when Reapers get in the game, like, oh my god, you talk about a pain in the ass stun. That stun's gonna suck. Because the knife toss that they have, they can stun with that, and it has a pretty long range from what I understand. And it's just like oh jeez, that's not gonna. I'm not looking forward to deal with that. Also, I need to see in the settings. There's like a way to. Still got them. I got caught in that. Shit. And the issue is, I think, like, Deathblades have figured out that they can basically manhandle scrappers all they want. Because most Deathblades tend to chase me down a lot, like, pretty heavily. Was able to punish the greed. Unfortunately, the Deadeye can't really go in. Oh, shit. That was a smart move from the mage. They dropped the crystal on themselves. I was gonna try to like juggle them for a bit, and then, but I should have just knocked down, got on out with how low I was. That move right there, I don't think should have super armor on it, personally. Huh? Because it's so wide. Get out of the fucking A, dude. Yeah, I should try to come back. At least I was trying to bait that by standing still. Gotcha. To be honest, I had no business getting that. It just got really greedy. Oh, shit. I was smashing that R button for Death Rattle and it still doesn't want to go off. I swear, there's this huge amount of input lag, is what I feel. Why does my fucking alt not want to go off? I know y'all could see the targeting thing, and then it kept getting hung up on the whole, like, you can't, swap, like, to that bar, whatever. Shit. Nice, nice, nice. I guess I tried, like, I fat finger tried to do the fucking hotbar swap to, like, the trade skill stuff, and it was just, they got stuck on that, and it wouldn't fucking cast my ability. I was like, spamming right clicks. Yeah, see, there, it was just because they were getting really greedy on their moves, so I was able to take advantage of it. Like, I had 2 kills on the Deathblade that if they had, played a little smarter, I had no business catching them and killing them like that. It's just they went too hard after like the sorceress, and then the so they would kill the Sork, but then they would have nothing to escape, and so then I would just lock them down in a corner and just kill them. So they would already be like half HP anyway. What am I looking for? I'm looking for hotkeys. Because I don't like it how I have to hit twice to Oh, and you can't do anything with that. Is there does anybody know there's a way to make the UI disappear with just one click? I'm not a big fan of how I have to I have to basically hit it like twice to turn it off, and then like 2 more times to turn it back on. Like, and the fact that I also can't change it, because what I was thinking about doing was changing it so that it's like just one button, but it's not letting me, like this, for whatever reason, they decided to lock all of these abilities. That's kind of annoying. Or at least let me put it somewhere that I can, some of these I could understand. Screenshot, fine. Zoom in, zoom out, whatever. The target context menu, cursor color, you know, that's fine. But not letting me change the hide UI keybind is fucking weird. Nah, it looks like I have to just always double hit the keybind. That's fucking annoying. Alright, back in we go. I really don't like the way I just really don't like how ranked handles MMR. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it should be based off of player skill, like the amount of points you get. Which, sure. If that's the case, then make them 1v1. There's no reason a team-based PvP system should have individual skill-based. Either you work it as a team and win, or you don't work as a team and you lose. Or you do work as a team and you lose. And you should just get rewarded and penalized for that. I don't think it's very healthy to base that off of individual player stuff, because it enforces really bad habits, like that at lower levels, that when you get to higher levels you really can't play that way. And I mean, unless I'm missing something, because I don't think I'm out of the bracket where you know, 25 to 22, I don't really, like, you know, I played better that match that we lost. I don't think it was... Shit. Wait, what? I, like, teleported across the screen. Man, that tornado's fucking big. What? What? How did that not kill them? Bruh. Thank you. Oh, so close, so close. That probably would have been a kill if I could have gotten that last one off. Actually, I shouldn't have knocked them down, because of the problem. I knocked them down, which let them get back up. I literally jumped straight to their awakening. Where we go? We're going. Dude, oh, what? Wait, do they go completely like immune when they jump? What? Like, does their star pounce really make them like immune to damage when they're up in the air? That's probably like the only jump in the game that does that. Because for as fast as like War Dancer's striker jumps are, you can still interrupt them if you catch them fast enough. I've done it before. Usually by accident, but I've done it before. Starfall might be the... It could also be I might have just missed her like jumping point. Because the point is the point from where they jump is where you catch them. A lot of times, especially for like Phoenix Advent. For true Rising Fist, I feel like fucking any time I'm in the fucking area, I'm just a free target. Let me see. I hate that it does this. I always tell it to just tell me like what I have owned, and then it like resets every time I log out. Yeah, see this, I need to just hoard a bunch of coins of courage. Because if I can get coins of courage, and if I can get alright, never mind, this is bugged again. It's not showing me the XP I'm getting. Hate that. Like, why is this a thing? Fix this. Seriously, Smilegate, fix this. It's been a bug since like they launched PvP. The PvP season. I was looking back on it because I was wondering about it. It's been bugged forever. Like, but basically, what I'm trying to do is get to Supreme 1. So first of all, I can buy this. But mostly for this. Like, you see, I can get 4 here, but then I can get 8 here for Supreme 1. Let's see, this takes... Oh, wait, no, a Supreme 4. What? I thought it was Supreme 1 was the purchase requirement for the first batch. I guess not. Shit, that's even more work. So then I definitely have to get Supreme 1 this week. I have to get Supreme 1 so I can get Supreme 4 before Destroyer comes out. Yeah, I need Supreme 4. It's 160. That's 320. 190 times 2. I probably wouldn't do it for tier 1 stuff. I'll probably save it for tier 2 stuff. But basically, with these next 2 weeks, I need to do enough tier 1, tier 2 infinite chaos dungeon to accrue enough materials to clear out the shop on the Destroyer. Because I need to not do any chaos dungeon in tier 3. I can maximize my the potential to getting oh no, this is what Supreme 1. But to maximize my potential to getting 1302 without having to pop the Aura of Resonance potions. Well, that's the goal, but Supreme 4 takes a bit to get to. Supreme 4 is 124,000. It's pretty big jumps. I don't think I can get that in 2 weeks. I don't think I PvP enough to get that in 2 weeks. Shit, I don't even know if I PvP, if I could stomach enough PvP to get to Supreme 1 in this 1 week. Especially if I can't fucking tell how I'm doing on the weekly stupid XP whatever. Because it recorded it for the first, like, I want to say first one or two PvP matches, and then it hasn't recorded it for the rest of them. And as far as I know, that's just a visual bug, and like there's nothing you can do about it. Like it'll just tell you when it feels like it. If you're doing it. I think I'm gonna do 2 more PvP matches, and then I think that'll be enough PvP for today. I do kind of want to do this more regularly, where I just do more PvP, just try to like get better at the game. But I also need to do some dailies on my alts, so we'll do 2 more. Then I'll just start doing alt stuff. We already got the rapport grind done. So basically we're just free to just straight shot do Una daily tasks and chaos dungeons. And then if we have free time, I'll do like infinite chaos of lower stuff on my berserker, so you can just blitz through it. After I do the math, because I need to do maths. Yeah, this is annoying. I've done 38 matches. I've won 22 of them. Meanwhile, in competitive, it doesn't tell me in competitive, but yeah, I die way too much. Yeah, but I became ace once. Gunslinger, Deathblade, Gunlancer. That's gonna be annoying to deal with. I mean, we have a Paladin and a Berserker, but just dealing with all of that hit stun on a Scrapper is gonna suck. Not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it at all. Is that the harsh set? No, that's something. Oh no, I think that's their sunset. That's the sunset stuff for Berserker. Okay. You know, it's just all of my stuff expiring in the mail right now. Bro, that fucking cheesy ass fucking combo that Gun Lancers can do is so annoying. What? What are you hit with last? I don't even know what I got hit by. That's something I wish told you, like what killed you at the end, like what move. came up. I feel like stuns are so punishing on scrappers. Because you tend to get stunned out of like death rattle. Come on, get up, dude. That's alright. That's one complaint for Lost Ark. Knockdowns in this game, like in general, like PvE or PvP, just last way too fucking long. Like they just last way too long. Nice, 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 nice. That was a really good fucking. Very good, very good. Oh, you, bruh. The amount of like chase down that like gunslingers and deadeyes have is ridiculous. I dodged the first fling, the spiral tracker. I dodged that. I dodged the somersault shot. I dodged the first dexterous shot maneuver, and then he caught me with the second dexterous shot maneuver, and I had to burn 2 dodges. Well, basically, I charging blowed, dodge, Dragon's Advent, charging blowed, or so like I had to use 5 movements abilities to try to counter his like 3 or 4 abilities, and they still caught me at the end. Yeah, this is all just expired. Which I'll just put back up. See if it sells. Because for some reason, things mysteriously sell on the weekend when they don't sell during the weekday. So, and it doesn't really cost me anything, so. Back up. I'm just going to put everything up for 50 gold. I'm not even going to take the time to look at what everything individually was. So if anybody gets like a winner off of me, that's fine. I just want to sell these. Alright, we're gonna do one more PvP match, and then after that, we're gonna start just doing the dailies on other stuff, because I think I'm getting PvP'd out for today. Because I'm not like super tilted, it's just I think it's a mix of I'm kind of tired of waiting for Destroyer when I have 2 more weeks to wait. I'm a little annoyed about their stance on power passes in general, not just for Destroyer, just in general. Like, I can't agree with their stance on not giving a power pass for every new class for our region. And then expecting us to be happy with it without any sort of like honing buff changes or something like that. To at least tier 1 and tier 2. And then I'm just annoyed because like the only class I like PvPing on is kind of dog shit PvP, we're all honest. I feel like even the people who like played like Scrapper at a very high level are like, this class is just not that good. Just better off playing something else. I feel like the stance for a lot of stuff I play is kind of like you kind of make yourself suffer just cause just no real reason. Just is what it is. Just is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the last match. I PvP'd out. All these Deathblades and shit just fucking tilt me a little bit too much. Deathblades are, I think, like, in a straight up match, just like Deathblades are the only ones that I'm like, I just don't, like. You could 5-hit outsmart them and they would still fuck you up and kill you. Alright, so this is relatively even. Paladin, Bard, Slork Scrapper versus Shadowhunter Artillerist. Technically, I would say their team has, like, the upper hand right now. Because, between the Shadowhunter and the Bard, they have a lot of lockdown potential for the damage from the Artillerist. While in ours, the Slork doesn't really mesh up too well. I think if we had like a Berserker or our own, or like a War Dancer or something, like the Cleave would be better. But not much we can do there. Just how it be with matchmaking. Good. Yeah, see? Just the sheer lockdown they have from range for the artillerist is insane. I just ate so much damage there. Oh. Also, the fact that, like, again, see, like, you get a bard and they can just lock down they can just lock down an area, just stop any sort of advancement from happening. Fuck. Dude, I was spamming death rattle, and the 2 seconds, like, the half a second it takes for the server to register that I'm pushing death rattle, the stupid bard circle stunned me, even though I was slamming that button like nobody's fucking business. That's another thing that frustrates me, like, with how tight a lot of these windows are for shit in this game, like, the lag you get sometimes for input lag is annoying. Very annoying. Good. I still don't like that. Either they need to give all arenas something like the chicken and the bomb, or they need to just like take the chicken bomb out of this R13 arena. Personally, I'm more for the camp of just adding something to every arena. Ooh, that was a good catch. I don't know how I missed that. Shit. That was a good stun. Oh, fuck. Should have dodged that. Bruh, again, the amount of lockdown this team has. Flamethrower is so fucking stupid. I hate flamethrower, dude. I think hands down, it's probably one of the most busted moves in PvP. Like, period. Super armor, they put super armor on it. It applies a stacking flame dot, and then it also like paralysis on the through every tick. Like, it's quite possibly easily considered one of the, I would say it's like one of the stronger moves. Also, I have nothing for this right now. Like, I don't even know, like, I literally just came out of spawn to die right there. Because I just had nothing for that. I think that right there, like, I think today I've kind of just showcased, like, obviously I could have played that a lot better. Obviously, like, I'm not debating that, but what I'm trying to explain is that as a scrapper, you have like almost no answers for like 90% of what you fight in this game on PvP. You don't have a big area lockdown because the only area lockdown you have gets shut down very easily. You put yourself in danger doing chain destruction fist. It's literally one of the most dangerous moves to do in PvP. It's very easy to get interrupted. To be honest, it's probably its main use is to bait out abilities. really its main use. And by bait abilities, I mean you hit it and then you count like 1 or 2 seconds and you watch what they're doing. And if they come towards you, you dodge out of it and try to dodge out of a stun to make them waste the stun. That's literally, in my opinion, that's like its own. That's like its biggest use from what I've seen. Like for scrappers that like PvP, like at high levels, more often than not, they don't use it for damage. They just use it to bait abilities, which, in my opinion, that just makes it a waste of an ability. Then, Death Rattle is very short range, as you can see. Part of it could have been me. I'm not going to say that I was perfect on aiming it all the time, but part of it I felt that the server wasn't keeping up with where I was trying to put my mouse. And I mean, I'll look back later, so I can watch it when I'm not in the heat of the moment. But it felt like I would aim here, and then it would like, so I would aim for the chair, and then it would go for like either above the chair or below the chair instead of going at the chair, is how I felt when I was trying to aim it. I don't know if I was hitting the button too soon when I'm trying to like move the cursor, because that's the issue with ARPGs, right? Like you can hit, like you could be moving your cursor and being like, your brain is like, all right, I'm moving my cursor, and then but then your fingers also hitting the button at the same time, and you might hit it a little too early. That's also possible. I'll probably see that when I rewatch it. But like there's nothing really in the kit to make things saved. So just like, yeah, I don't know, like it's just when you start looking like objectively at the scrapper kit, it's very dangerous. It's like in PvP, like a lot of the kit is just dangerous. It puts you in dangerous positions, is what I mean. Like you have to take some pretty hefty risks. And I think right there at the end, it showed you. Like I was trying. Well, to be fair, first of all, I have really like. I think it shows you how obtrusive some of the UI is for PvP. That I really need to do something about that, in my opinion. I think that the party frames could be the small individual party frames. Like, so I don't know if you've seen it. I know on some streamers, like I think it's in the Korean version. It's not in our version yet. But even then, I don't think it's in PvP. Their party frames, you can turn into little green bars instead of like the full bar, so it's not taking up a huge amount of space. I think PvP, that should just be the way it is by default, as your little class icon and a little health bar under it. It's not so much of an issue in ranked, because you have the see-through bar at the top, but in unranked, not having like the bar just taking up all this space here and kind of like blocking sight there is kind of shit. That's just there. You know, we're not going to talk about the MMR stuff. I already kind of like toot my horn on that. So like there's definitely improvements to be made on some stuff, and I think they've said this year they're gonna take some time to look into PvP more seriously, and like for instance the damage reduction nerfs coming with the class balance patch, which I'm assuming that's coming because that was part of the class balance patch in Korea, and we know that that they're planning on bringing the class balance patch with Destroyer. So we think they should. So I'm assuming that's going to come in for PvP. Which means that that's gonna make it a little easier for if you get unlucky and get like double support comps or something like that, or get like support Soulfist. You get into comps where there's a lot of like damage reduction. It should make it easier to deal with. It's a pretty hefty nerf from what I understand. But I hope they do more, because like I think because it's funny because they go like, so their reasoning for not doing a ranked like 1v1, because like a lot of people have asked for ranked 1v1s, is the reasoning is, or at least from what I understand, or at least this is what I hear every time someone asks for it, and people go, well, this is why we don't have it. Is people go, oh, because the game isn't balanced around 1v1s. I hate to break it to you, but the game's not balanced around 3v3s either, because there's classes you just straight up don't play. Like, I think like Royal Roaders, I think like we saw, I think every class got played once, but I think Scrapper only made it, like was only played in one match, one time. I didn't watch all of them because they were pretty late in the day for me, so I didn't get to see them all, but I think I think I was looking at a statistic online or on a video where they were like, everybody got played once, but like a handful of classes only got played the one time. I think the only class that didn't get played was like Reaper. I think that was the only class that didn't get played, because that's usually considered a, wait, why did I teleport here? That's usually considered a because it's considered more of like a solo queue hero kind of class. But it's kind of just like my thoughts on it is like, I hope they kind of really look like, I almost hope that like PvP gets its own actual tripods, right? So like I don't know, maybe take away the tenacity tripods from everything, which actually probably wouldn't be very good, or like make it so that every class has like the same number of tenacity tripods or something like that. I don't know, because it's like I have 3 tenacity tripods on a Scrapper, and I understand this. It's on Dragon's Advent. You take it on Dragon's Advent, Chain Destruction Fist, and Death Rattle. Dragon's Advent, it's cool, it's whatever. You get stunned out of it, you don't really care. Chain Destruction Fist, easily one of the most dangerous moves for you, like for your own personal safety, is probably, I would consider it like one of the most dangerous buttons to push. Really mostly used for, I do get some good use out of it when locking down like big targets, like when people are being when the enemy team is trying to be super greedy and jump in on something, and I know they don't, and they don't have ways to get out, they're not using any safety stuff, they're trying to blow things up, I'll jump in and I'll try to like Chain Destruction Fist to kind of like stagger them, because with Chain Destruction Fist, it really staggers them in place when you play it. So I think that's cool. But even then, it's still kind of whatever. And then the fact that like the stun for, I think stuns should just have paralysis immunity. Stuns should not have tenacity. That's something I think for sure is a no-go. But I don't think melee stuns should have, like, you shouldn't be able to get interrupted by just basic abilities when you're trying to stun something. Because like that's the issue, right? It's because like the point is that there's, in case you don't know, there's 3 forms of hard CC in this game, in PvP. There is stun, which is just a hard stun. There's electrocution, there's freezing, and then there's 4 actually. There's basically, whatever, fuck the numbers. There's electrocution, freezing, earthquake, and then there's just stun. Like those are the those are all the forms of hard CC in this game, is those abilities. Out of all of those abilities, I think the only class that has a melee stun that you actually have to hit them with your actual player model and isn't just like, doesn't have like a ranged option to give it at least some sort of range, I think it's Scrapper. I don't think any of the other hard CCs are as short range as the one on Scrapper, because Berserker has Earthquake on, alright, well Berserker probably does, I guess Berserker does, but Mountain Crash I think is, first of all, it's 360 degrees and it's actually deceptively larger than you'd think. for an earthquake ability, and then they also have earthquake on sword storm. On top of the fact that you take you always take tenacity on finish strike, so that, which is one of their main damage dealing abilities. What else? Shadow hunters have their beam. They also have a lot of knockup and a lot of like just good ways of locking down players. Mind you, I'm not saying like these classes should lose their like CCs, right? Like I think they are very well well thought out. Like Mountain Crash, Sword Storm having Earthquake, like I think that's cool. Like that kind of stuff. Like I think it's fine, it fits. But I think that not giving all like classes in a, like for instance, if one melee class has a 360 or like a range, the stun they can use hard CC, I feel like all melee classes should have that. Now I don't know if but and like the reason I call them hard CC is because you could also be like, well, Marsh, you have a lot of like knockdowns in your kit as a scrapper, and this is true, this is very true, but you have to consider the fact that knockdowns are pseudo hard CCs, as I would call them, because you can flip out of knockdowns, right? I think it would be fairer if you could flip, like you can use your flip to get out of juggles, get out of stuns, like you like basically give it the World of Warcraft PvP trinket. So in World of Warcraft there's a PvP trinket that basically gets you out of all forms of CC if you pop it, but it has a lengthy cooldown. So like for instance, you'll see that sometimes I don't flip out, right? Like right off the bat, like I'll wait to see what they're gonna do, because sometimes opponent, like when you get knocked down in PvP, a lot of times they expect you to flip away, and at least at my at the level I'm getting match made, most players expect you to just automatically flip if you have it, and so if they haven't seen you get knocked down for a while, they just like leave you alone. I had a couple instances in this match where the player, like, I didn't flip immediately, and the player like started running off, and then when he noticed that I didn't flip, then he tried to come back in time to do something, and sometimes I'd have to flip anyway. So, you know, you could have been like, well, you could have put that on cooldown sooner, but I think I think it's worth the risk for of waiting for a slightly delayed flip cooldown for the potential gain of not having to flip is the way I look at it. I think that's pretty it's a pretty even trade in my opinion. I think that yeah, I think flip could be more expanded to be more than just knockdowns. I think it's really like wasting its potential to only be for knockdowns. Granted, it also makes it more important, right? Like I feel like it just gives it more importance that you can strategically use it to get out of stuns. You can do all this kind of stuff, stuff like that. I don't think the range stuff is annoying, personally. Like, yes, it sucks to fight artillerists and to fight like Deadeyes, especially if you're new as a melee player, because they have just so much like paralysis control with all of their abilities that they throw out. But you also have to remember the fact that it's in an enclosed arena where they're outside of like hard CCs. That's the only other way they have for making themselves space and dealing damage. While melee, you're just constantly just chomping out damage at the whole time. Like, you know, your kit's just loaded with ways to like control somebody also. So like I don't think like you know, I get frustrated, don't get me wrong, I get pissed off, like but like earlier, you know, I was like, fuck, you saw that, like I had to use so many abilities and I still couldn't get away. Like, you know, in the moment, yeah, I'm frustrated because I had to do all that and I still couldn't get away from them, but I'm not in the stance where I'm like, oh, they need to like reduce the like the amount of stuff that a class has for that kind of stuff for ranged specifically. I feel like part of it is just like that's how they can protect themselves, and I think it's fair enough. I think maybe you could argue that artillerist maybe could use a little bit of tuning on some of their super armors and stuff like that. But I think part of it is just that they're just really tanky because they have a lot of shields they can give themselves on top of they have the turret form and all that kind of stuff. Like they just have a lot of answers for things. But to be honest, an unsupported artillerist is literally a free meal for almost every melee. Like every time there's an artillerist and he doesn't get like backed up by his team in my PvP matches, like basically like I just eat him alive because he has answers, right? So like, you know, he's got flamethrower, he's got Gatling gun, he's got all these other things he can use, but he doesn't have enough things to lock you down compared to like a melee character. Like even something like a scrapper, like you literally have a field day with artillerists as long as you can dodge their like you don't even need to dodge it as long as you just stay on top of it and don't like over commit or do something dumb like do a chain destruction fist when you know they have stun ready to go that they can just stun you with, stuff like that. Like good to go. And like, and by unsupported I mean like, for instance, that again, I feel like that last match was also an exhibit just how good a bard can be, like how annoying it can be. Don't get me wrong, paladins are good in PvP, like they're great in PvP, and they're obviously tankier than a bard. And I feel maybe at like higher levels, like you probably want a paladin more than you want a bard, but I think like, and like I think that's only really a thing at like super duper high levels, because like I don't know, I watch Laffy play a lot. She's a really good bard player. You can tell that, like, you know, she struggles on some like matchups, but on other matchups, like she's a fucking god. Like, you know, she's so good at bard and PvP. To me, like, I honestly think bards are like so fucking strong in PvP. Personally, like a really good bard is a nightmare. Like a bard that like holds on to their stun and holds on to their like CCs to like shut down advances and stuff like that. Oh my god, they're so annoying to fight against. But, you know, again, I think that's like, I still think that's awesome, right? Like, I think it's cool. It gives them dynamic. I think in like lower ranks that whatchamacallit, a decent bard is better than a decent paladin, like is kind of what I'm getting at. I'd rather have a decent bard, like, or a competent bard on my team over a competent paladin, because I feel like a paladin, I guess though what I can say, sorry, I'm kind of like trying to organize my thoughts. I guess what it is it's like a competent bard can set things up and protect their teammate better, in my opinion, than a competent paladin can in a situation where your teammates are baboons like me. Right, like when I am your teammate on like an off day like today where I'm not, you know, I didn't do very well and I kind of like I was a little too greedy. I got a little too aggressive on stuff, which is why I went to unranked. I could tell after those two matches in ranked, yeah, I lost them, and I guess you could say that I got like, you know, I rage quit ranked, but it was also because mentally I was like, I'm not in a spot where I can do unranked, and I'm just gonna tank my MMR even more than it already is. So I did the executive mental decision to just play unranked, because I still wanted a PvP, don't get me wrong, like I want a PvP to get better, but I should just do it in unranked. Because the other issue is, like, you know, I was using the excuse of, oh well, you know, 3-mans, it makes it hard, blah 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 blah, but to be honest, like, as I play more and I get more experience, I've faced 3-mans and I've rolled 3-mans, like, and 3-mans that you can tell they're working together because they're trying to cover for each other and stuff like that. But I've been able to do very well against them in unranked, and it's not that, like, you know, it's not that big of an issue. But so that's kind of like, so really I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do unranked and I'm just gonna like fight and just try to get better. It's rough because, like, you know, in the moment I feel like I feel frustrated because I could have played a lot better on that last match. I feel like I had a really good start to it, and then I really like kind of fell off towards the end. I was getting too aggressive and I was just trying to like do stuff. I also don't pay attention enough. Like, I guess that's the one thing I don't like about having to do, because like basically I'll close the UI so I can have it, but then because I have to hit the button multiple times to reopen the UI to check my tab, I should probably like change my title. The but since I got really aggressive and I kept trying to like get kills that, to be honest, I should have just left alone. And that was in that last match. I probably could have been better, and I need to just be better at like checking the UI while I'm dead. To be honest, I just wish they would unlock the button combination. Like I don't understand why that's a locked button combination personally. Uh, I don't think it would cause any issues if you allowed players to change what keybinds they use to hide the UI. Like, I don't know. I find that, to me, that's a very, very weird button to lock. But it kind of just is what it is. So I hope that maybe in the future they let us change it, or give me an option that lets me like choose what I want that button to do, because I don't like how I have to push the button multiple times to, in PvP especially, because what it is when you hit Alt X, it closes your minimap and your quests, like all these extra shit, then it gets rid of them, then it gets rid of everything, and then it brings it all back. In PvP, it should just automatically go straight to this option, because this gives you so much more screen real estate in PvP compared to like this, or even this. Because you still have, you know, this stuff in the corners. You'll have the scoreboard up here, like that's taking up real estate that in this game against like ranged things like sorceresses, or even like not even just ranged things. Like one of my matches, there was a shadow hunter who was, to be honest, like they had to I feel like they had to have some sort of experience, because the amount of times they came at me from a blind spot, as someone who tries to actively like position myself to not be like have things in my blind spot as much as I can, which I didn't do as well in this round of PvP, but like to me that almost screamed that this was a person who knew what he was doing in like initiating onto melees. It was also a person who understood that shadow hunters have an advantage on scrappers. Like you just like I dread fighting a good shadow hunter. They're such a pain in the ass, because they're basically like a hybrid ranged class in PvP, and so they can walk away and poke from a distance at you and fuck with you like that, and then like they can initiate, and then they can just walk away. Like, you know, while everything you have as a scrapper, you have to be very, very close to the target to do anything. So I dread fighting good shadow hunters. They're so annoying to deal with. But he was definitely probably one of the best shadow hunters I'd faced. Because because the issue is also with shadow hunters is they kind of get lucky. Like they're kind of a lot of times I feel like when I get caught it's because I jumped back into something that I could have avoided. There was definitely a couple times in the matches that I had shadow hunters today that I jumped into his like demon spikes and stuff like that. Like demon spikes that I would have like no problems avoided if I hadn't jumped back into them, because I was just being too aggressive. And that's kind of where I kind of like, why do I keep teleporting to this stupid tripod when I know it's not the one I need? What's wrong with me today? I'm just out of it today. But yeah, so I was too aggressive. I feel like I was just too aggressive today. Even though I feel like if I'm gonna be too aggressive, unranked is definitely the place to be too aggressive, because it kind of just doesn't do anything. Oh shit, it updated. There we go. Nice. I had a bug earlier where it wasn't showing me. Alright, so we did enough PvP today to get to Ultra 10. So I think what I might do is I might do like just do this again, like for the next couple days. At the start of the stream, I'll do my dailies on my scrapper, and then we'll do like an hour or so of PvP. Because my goal is I want to get to... Oh, not that one. I want to get to Supreme 1, at least. And we're only 11,000 away. and I got 18,000 in that one session. So if I do this 2 or 3 days, I can probably get pretty close to Supreme 4, which is what I need for the extra. Well, if I do this, like, I think what I'll do is I'll try to do this every day from now until Destroyer comes out, so that way I can just build up XP and try to get as close to Supreme 4 as I can get. Well, actually, or just try to get to Supreme 4, so that way I have extra mats I can buy, and then I'm just going to hoard all of my coins for the Destroyer, seeing how, for whatever reason, they kind of just don't want to give us a Power Pass for Destroyer, so there's not really much I can do there. We can do there. Again, just a tie back. I hope they change their mind on the stance of not giving a Fate and Power Pass with Destroyer, but if they don't, we're just gonna have to play with it. We're just gonna have to go with it. So just stay tuned, because when they finally give us a, they finally say that, hey, yeah, 100%, we're doing the May update on May 19th. I'm gonna do like a checklist thing of things you can do ahead of time to prep yourself for Destroyer. I'm hoping by then they have changed their minds, question mark, on not giving a Power Pass for every class, because I still think that's a bad decision, personally. Either that or decide to give us honing rate buffs. That's my stance on it. I'm mentally prepared. I was expecting it. If you've been here or watched any of my VODs for any time I talk about prepping for Destroyer, I always talk about how I'm always prepping for just in case they decide not to give us a Fate and Power Pass for whatever weird reason. So I'll just go over like some prep stuff. So like, I guess like an early secret is you can do PvP, get your PvP level up. Get to at least try to get to Supreme 4, so that way you can buy like 2 rows of mats for when you need them. I don't think you'll need them for tier 1, because you get a lot of mats from tower and stuff like that. But if you don't have like, if you didn't save your express mission like I did, you're probably going to be in rough shape. Or your Power Pass, which I feel like most people didn't, because again, they had to have known that Glaver would, like, everybody was gonna just blow everything on Glaver. Like, you can't convince me otherwise, because it was literally the most requested class, right? So they, in my opinion, they knew what was gonna happen, and then they just decided not to, like, I don't know. I'll stop talking about it, because I'm just gonna get salty the more I talk about it. Oh shit! Really? You fucking bitch! Holy shit, I got stuck there, then everything just started wailing on me for a second. That did a lot of damage. But yeah, so I definitely need to look back on the VOD later to kind of see where I could have done better. Because even in hindsight, I'm like, there's a lot of things I could have done. I could have improved and done better in the matches today. Okay, still killed it. I was like, I know it's invisible in there. I'm just hoping that it would let me still deal damage, because sometimes those guys, they'll spawn invisible and they'll start just like wailing on me, and I'm just like, bro, where the fuck even are you? So, but yeah, so just some PvP. I think I'm gonna try to keep that as like a normal thing for at least the next week or so, of just doing like PvP matches every day. For like an hour or so, just so we can build up as much PvP levels and PvP coins as we can, right? Especially the PvP coins. I want to do enough. I might do some Infinite Chaos also, because I need to actually, after this, I need to do some maths. I need to go do some maths to see how much farming I need to do for Infinite Chaos. Make sure I can clean out the shop for when Destroyer comes out. Because it's better to do that now than to do it later, because there's probably going to be a lot of farming I need to do. Something to remember is that, unfortunately, on the character itself, For new characters, you can't like stock bloodstones for them. You can buy the stones, like the Guardian Destruction stones for the tiers on other characters for them ahead of time because they're unbound and you can put them in your roster storage. But you can't like basically those characters won't be able to really get a sustainable or a decent amount of bloodstones to buy like leap stones or shard pouches from the guild vendor for like 3 days after they're out because oh, so I need to make sure. Yeah, I don't have, because for whatever reason, you know, the stupid new guild member thing where even as a guild leader I can't manually promote them out of a new guild. You have to wait for the server to change them from like a new member, which is basically just a trial person, into an actual member. It takes 3 days, so that means you can't get like leap stones and stuff on them for the from the bloodstone vendor, and you can't, and there's no leap stones on like the pirate coin ship, right? So it's just like not much to go on there. We did cover the May update earlier on, or at the beginning of the stream, because it was up by then. So if you missed that, you could. I should have the VOD uploaded today, as long as my internet doesn't decide to be a bit of a bitch. So you could watch that on like YouTube, or you can just watch the VOD on Twitch after the stream to see my opinions on that. Quick synopsis is meh. Like, I'm excited for Destroyer, but the rest of it, you know, we kind of knew what was coming, so it doesn't really matter. And they didn't announce like what event was going to replace Guardian Raid event, so I'm assuming we'll probably, like, that's probably something they'll tell us closer to the actual patch itself. And I'm just hoping it's a really good event, because like I'm hoping we get an event like that the rewards, not necessarily like the actual event, but that the rewards for the events for materials is on the level of like Naruni Racing, because like the Guardian Raid event like is nice, but when it comes to like stuff that's really important for honing, like shard pouches and stuff like that, it cannot compare to the Naruni Racing. You just got so many shard pouches from like Naruni Racing. So hopefully whatever event replaces it is really, really good. So that way I don't have to burn too many like pouches and chests. Sweet. Gold room. That's the 5th gold room in 2 days. I got 4 gold rooms yesterday, and now I just got the 5th one right now. And dead. God. Gold rooms on the Berserker is so easy, because literally 1 whirlwind kills it. It's so easy on a Berserker. You just hold down whirlwind on top of it, and like while he's still doing his like weird animation, he just dies. Right. Should be able to kill these fast enough. There's a rift core on it, and then just start hitting the button, because even oh wow, he took his sweet time to get targetable. Usually, like, even if you pop it when they like pop out, unless it's one of the really long guys where they take a long time to be targetable, you'll generally catch them in the second half and kill them. But I guess that one's a little longer than the normal ones. Boop. Also, that's a neat little trick if you have a Berserker for Chaos Engine, is for your Strike Wave, which you're generally going to be running Cerberus with the Flame Wave, with a Blast Wave tripod. You throw it out, and then you like run back into it, so that way everything groups up on it, so when the second explosion happens, it kills whatever's chasing it. Nice little trick to speed things up a little bit, because both hits will kill things, especially if you have preemptive strike. Both hits will definitely kill things. Shoot. Oh, I forgot this is these are one of the guys I was talking about, that they take a long time to be targetable. I even knew that, and I'm still just like, I'm just gonna hit that right off the bat. I think it just shows you how out of it I am today. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm telling myself that the power pass thing, it didn't like annoy me more than it did, but I feel like it really annoyed me. I think it really tilted my mindset for the day with their stance on it. I think if they had like an actual proper reason, like if they had been like, yeah, we don't want to give too many power passes because of bots, I could have accepted it over the reason they actually gave. The reason they had rocks give, which was, oh, well, we're releasing too many classes back to back, and that's too many power passes. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, I understand it, like, it's a lot of power passes in a short amount of time, but you gave out power passes for every new class in the other regions. Like, you can't use too many as an excuse when it's the same quantity of power passes as you gave out in everywhere else. Oh, I don't know if I want to sell that or if I want to like send that over to my glavers because those are going for a lot right now. Increase mass. Well, like I always say, when you want to make a decision, you go to the auction house and I'll see. I'll see if they're still going for a lot. If they're not going for much, I'll just send it over to the glaver so she can try to cut it and hope for the best. 3 purple engraving. All right, it had increased mass and keen blunt on it, which I'm mistaken are like right next to each other. Increased mass, keen blunt. What's the prices at? I see them at 80 gold. 25.80. I could probably get like 100, 120 out on it. Because there's gonna be people that buy multiple of it. So I think that's worth. I'll match this guy. 100 for 120. What's the negative on it? No speed reduction. That's whatever. Maybe that'll sell. If it doesn't sell, then I'll just send it. Like I'll try to sell it a couple times over the weekend, and then if it sells, cool. If it doesn't sell, I will then just send it to the glaver for the 3 peons. So that way, she will get an extra attempt at a stone that I actually want to use on her. Wait, those are there. Okay, I need to do some math though, real quick. I need to write down these numbers. Calculator, where you at? Calculator. Okay. So. Alright, so 20 times 60. 1200. With 5 times 180 is 900. We're at 2100 that we need to go. That's 450. Oh no, we need more. We need more than that. 35 times 25. 11, 25, 1, 1, 2, 5. And then we have another 75. 515. Another 1, 1, 2, 5. 2, 5. So, what is that? 22, 50. Oops. 22, 50. Plus 2100. So I need 4,350 Tier 1 Infinite Chaos currency. That's gonna suck. Because I have like next to no stockpile built on that. He is 4,350. Tier 2 I imagine is close to the same price. No, it's gonna be a little bit more because you get some more out of it. So this one is that should be like 1,800. So 1,800 for the leaf stones. 180. 900 for the shard pouches, which they're large, so that's a lot. Like what, 7,500 life shards? And definitely the destruction stones. I don't think I'll need guardian stuff. Well, actually, no. Actually, now I think about it, because I have to go through all of tier 2. So yeah, never mind. What is this? 45. 45. 25. I think it's gonna come out to the same price as the other ones, right? Yeah, okay, those are the exact same price. You just get a couple more leap stones out of tier tier 2 stuff. So this is gonna require, it's gonna be pretty close in price actually. It should only be like almost 5k instead. 2250 plus 2700, yeah, like 4950. But I have, at least for tier 2, I have stuff built up, so I should be able to, like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. T2 is 4950. So now I can spread this over the next 2 weeks, like off stream, or I might do it on stream as like a detox thing for Infinite Chaos, because that's one of the things you can kind of do ahead of time, if you so desire, is farm up enough tier 1, tier 2 Infinite Chaos currency to empty out the shop for materials, to give yourself the best shot at saving as many chests and pouches as you can for tier 3, if you care about getting those characters up and running quickly into tier 3. But again, I'll have those numbers. I'm writing them down now for myself, but I'll also have them for when we do the prep list. The prep list from whenever they finally go like, yes, we are online for May 19th as the May update. So that'll be nice. So I have a notepad document, just slowly filling it with stuff I remember. I'll have to organize it though before stream, or I'll just organize it on stream while I'm talking about it. Huh. Who's fighting the Force Sentinel? Why are you fighting the Force Sentinel? Oh, do you need a... Oh, I guess you're trying to unlock it. That makes sense. That would make sense. I always find it funny. There was one time I came here, and someone was, like, killing the Force Sentinel, and someone was like, who the hell would kill the Force Sentinel? And I'm like, I don't know. Someone who needs to unlock the quest. Because in order to unlock this daily quest, you have to, like, kill a Force... Is it me, or was that Berserker going a little fast for being a Berserker? I'm sorry. Alright, where was I? But yeah, people forget after doing it for a while that you need to kill the Forest Sentinel to get the item that lets you unlock the quest, to then throw fireflies at said Sentinel. So, just something to remember. That's why if you ever go and you're like, why the fuck are people killing the Forest Sentinel? They're trying to unlock the daily quest that you were doing. I think we should have enough time to at least get through the Glaver for dailies, and then head over to Snowpang. Actually, we should have more than enough time for that. Shouldn't take us more than like 20 minutes to do everything on the Glaver. Higher coins are the ones that I don't know what I'm going to do with, to be honest. Because part of me wants to spend them to buy tier 2 materials, but then part of me also doesn't, because I feel like that's a waste. So I think I might just, whatchamacallit, I might just... Like, I might buy some tier 1 mats, well, no. I think I'll wait, because basically what I plan on doing is if I can't, if they end up not giving us a power pass, say they stick to their things, which would be hilarious if they did, because there's been a lot of us that have been like, they kind of need to just take a hard stance on some of the stuff, and I feel like they're gonna, every time you tell a game company to take a hard stance on some stuff, they always end up taking it on the wrong things. Like for instance, releasing Vaulton, normal and hard mode, right stance. People are gonna cry about it. It's fine. Those people are gonna cry about it, everything anyway. Doesn't matter. Most players will be like, "Oh, cool. That means we can work out. You know, we have something to keep going. You know, we have incentive to keep progressing past 14, 15. Besides just cool glow, that kind of thing. But then I don't think they just don't just give us power passes, please. Thank you. But if not, it's whatever. I have a Vern power pass I didn't use, and then I didn't use my express mission because I was like, I don't trust them. Like for some weird reason, I had this voice in the back of my head that we weren't gonna get